Hello. Yeah, I'm muted. Hello, приветик. Hello, please forgive me. I don't need to forgive you for anything. Limbus Company! Yes. Limbus Company. Also, there's no chat. Refresh. New music. New music is, Oh, it's not new. It's just that when I do this screen, and that when I'm talking about it, talking about stuff today. Ура, сегодня Limbus? Да, сегодня Limbus. Limbus Company. Я не играл в новый контент. Сегодня будем играть в новый контент. Будем смотреть, как тебя кушает канина. Я не знаю, что там в новом контенте. Видимо, там канина. Так, дайте я отправлю свой стрим в Discord. Так, копи. Проходи. Понял, понял. Понял, принял. What's the title of my stream? There. Limbus Company School Stream. School Sim. I don't know what the thing actually is, what the subcanto actually is, but I will change the screens and you guys can see what I mean. It's definitely weird. When I saw this, you know, I immediately thought that it's a school episode. Some kind of school episode. Новая глава интересная, дает намеки на 9 кант, раскрывает сестру Хонглу. Так что имба. Ну, сейчас посмотрим. Okay. Stream public. Stream is public. Let's play. Pages. I'm also going to be reading. So, this is a reading stream now. Get ready for some reading. Been a while since I've read things on this stream, huh? The hall was chill with a tense air, and those present all sat in complete silence. Then there was Jia Yuan-chun, who with her lips slightly curled into a mirthless sneer. And at the center of it all sat Jia Shichun, unsure of what to say next. Well, everyone. Jia Yuan-chun, seated next to the hierarch seat upon which Shichun sat, smoothly takes control of the situation and begins the assembly. Honored heads of houses, lords of each family, their proxies, members, and... She nods slightly, acknowledging our awkward presence. And little Shichun's guests, who stay here at our H-Corp, seems to be extending without a foreseeable end. Isn't she technically from Q-Corp? What's up with her acting like she's any less of an outsider than we are? Yeah, and did everyone catch that? Our H-Corp? Regardless of everything else, the fact that she hijacked the meeting from the get-go is ridiculous, especially with Jia Shichun, the family hierarch herself, presiding over this official assembly. Clearly, she's using the pretense of assisting the hierarch to assert her own dominance over these proceedings. As we're all aware, Venerable former Jiamu has always discussed with and confided in me about the matters of the greatest import, the momentousness of which steered the very course of H-Corp's prospects. She also housed somebody. I don't remember. There was a scene at the end of the canto where she's like talking to someone, to some girl. I forgot which. No. Honglu's girlfriend. Yeah. Even after I departed the family for Q-Corp, Venerable former Jiamu has always written missives to confer such matters with me. Something about it smelled suspicious, but we'd already missed the window to challenge her to present us with proof without breaking decorum. Thus, as it naturally follows that I would be the inheritor of the Venerable Jiamu's will, I shall be presiding over this regular assembly, which we convene now to discuss and determine the future of H-Corp. What a grandiose and self-important introduction. It seemed clear to me that she considered herself to be the main character of the scene or something. Your grace certainly befits your station, Lady Yuan-chun. We are all impressed by your utmost dedication to the citizenry of Hongyuan, despite your already saturated schedule.
We can hardly thank you enough for your magnanimity, Lady Yuan-Chun.
Заранее говорю, убедись, что хорошо обучился, ты поймешь, когда наступит время. Хорошо, буду иметь в виду, спасибо.
Ah, my parents, a true shame they couldn't be here, have always sung praises of your expertise, Lady Yuan-Chun.
Responses from the participants are just as protracted, only obsequious instead of arrogant. As heads of some of the houses were under investigation for consorting with the forces foreign to Hongyuan, the vacuum was filled by their children's generation, many of whom we had the pleasure of meeting during the family hierarch war. Very well, then shall we? Welcome, Jiashi-chun, the next person to sit up on the seat of Hongyuan's family hierarch. Greetings, I am... Now let us begin. For many years, all those who have gathered here have toiled day and night for the eternal prosperity and growth of H-Corp. Jiashi-chun's expression immediately sours as Yuan-chun unceremoniously cuts off her self-introduction. Кстати, в этой главе мы встретим, наконец, других хейшеров, а не только Мао. Да, я видел, они же на баннере еще есть. First on the agenda for this assembly are urgent discussions and passage of new major policy items that have been tabled for far too long. Distributive contribution rights, auctioning policy, quarterly amnesty policy. Hold on, big sister Yuan-chun. Passing the distributive contribution rights auctioning policy would allow the open auction for any remaining rooms the day before reconstruction days, and the quarterly amnesty wouldn't do anything but give unfair advantage to certain families and high net worth individuals by guaranteeing them large real estate assignments regardless of their performance the previous quarter. English, а перевести? Не, еще и переводить? Я как бы просто зачитываю. Jiashi-chun stutters a little, flustered before continuing. My point is, these policies are going to rattle H-Corp's economy the moment they go into effect. Besides, these policies were pretty much drawn to favor lining the pockets of a select few families and high-ranking officials of H-Corp.
If I may, venerable hierarch.
Все хотел узнать, откуда ты, просто ты в идеале говоришь на английском и русском. На английском точно не в идеале. На русском, ну, неплохо бы уроженцу Москвы говорить на русском.
If I may, venerable hierarch, lining the pockets, that is quite an odd turn of phrase to refer to the bare minimum of respect the society must repay to its highest contributing members, don't you think?
Капустка, привет. Before we continue, Shichun, I'm not entirely certain if you are aware, but ever since the ascension of the new family hierarch, the perceived value of Hongyuan has been racing to the, for the lack of a better word, rock bottom. Clearly, this demonstrates Hongyuan's concern and its lack of faith in the newly appointed family hierarch. Therefore, it naturally follows that our most urgent task at hand is to put a stop to this value and reputation freefall and restore prosperity and greatness to Hongyuan once again. Yeah, okay, and that's the family hierarch's job, right? Why are you... If you had perused H-Corp's articles of association, you would have known that should H-Corp be deemed in a state of crisis, the four great houses and the board of directors' voice may also carry de facto power in the assembly. And the board of directors, that's us, has determined that we are now in a state of crisis. State of crisis? What crisis? Everything that led to my ascension to the family hierarch was legitimate, down to the final approval. These unseemly rumors and slander are tanking our value, which we have built up assiduously through years upon years of toil. So, what is this, if not a state of crisis? And who wouldn't doubt the new family hierarch's qualities when this decline has coincided precisely with her ascension? Jia Yuan-chun was somehow turning the room against Shichun without presenting a single shred of evidence, portraying her as some burdensome hierarch who was single-handedly tanking H-Corp's value. Так и не понял, что бабца из Q-Corp. Она родственница, короче, там... ну, она тоже Jia, видишь, она тоже Jia. Но она, типа, вышла замуж за какого-то другого чела, за какого-то чела в Q-Corp. И она, типа, приехала сюда интрижки разводить. Короче, интриганка это. Все еще жду момента, когда я получу ноги. Ну, смотри, не знаю. Лучшее, что я могу предложить, это вот. Вот. Пожалуйста. Вот, это лучшее, что я могу сейчас предложить. По ногам, да? Большего как бы предложений не будет. В личку мне в ДС. Скриншот надо было делать. Имбаляшечки, да. No one in the assembly, not even a single representative from any families present, stepped up to point out how Jiaxichun's swift actions were what finally repelled the outside forces that had marched right up to Hong Yuan's fort yard. Or how she deftly maneuvered her forces to quell the embers of war by quickly taking control of the chaos within Dagwan Yuan. She hadn't shown any glaring signs of incompetence since her ascension, despite her relative inexperience, but everyone in Hong Yuan's board of directors, the heads of each family, averted their eyes as though all of that had somehow inconceivably slipped their minds. So you take yourself to be a qualified individual for that responsibility, Shichun? Very well, then proceed. We're all waiting for you to begin your briefing before the assembly regarding the last 30 years' quarterly net revenue records for Hong Yuan's singularity-related businesses, your calculations on next year's fiscal debt forecasts, and the exact recipe and variation numbers for the boluses that have been registered in the last 5 years. That's,
The Venerable Hierarch has not received the data prior to the meeting. You must all be aware of the chaos that followed the ascension. We are still indexing all available materials to...
Isn't that funny? Not once in the history of Hong Yuan has the family hierarch ever failed to provide immediate and detailed answers regarding Hong Yuan's historical statistics. Стрим можно отмотать и наделать скринов. Да, тоже верно. Верно. Jia Yuan-chun must have known all along too. She must have known how the previous family hierarchs were all directly supplied with an immense repository of information through the Jiahuang worm or something of the equivalent. And she's using it to target Shichun's weakness, knowingly asking questions she, the first family hierarch without the Anamna worm, couldn't possibly answer. The responsibilities tied to the venerable seat of the hierarch Jiamu are matched only by the great power bestowed upon it. Thus, how are we to leave the matters of the wing to someone who is so evidently unprepared for the task? Given the present circumstances, our hands may be forced to call to vote the motion of no confidence. Представляю, как сложно было превратить мою главу со всеми этими китайскими именами и т.д. Но тут еще сложные обороты, на самом деле. Тут сложный такой леголес. The motion of no confidence? A motion of no confidence, when passed by the high-ranking political officials, can result in the removal of the chief executive from office. So they're going after Shichun's power. So this is the picture Jia Yuan-chun wanted to paint. Impotent family hierarch, stammering and stumbling through her first meeting to the total and near unanimous lack of support from the H-Corp board of directors.
Whatever jargon they're on about, seems to me they've got not an ounce of respect for the last RUS. Never trust twats overly obsessed with numbers and optimizations. They'll be the first ones to kick you out the moment they no longer see you as useful. You're not the only one who's pissed off, so can you please stop shaking your leg for a second? Don't need to make our frustration any more obvious, you know? My ass would have left the chair long ago if it weren't for this, lass. In H-Corp, should the board of directors unanimously vote in favor of the motion, certain parts of the family hierarch's powers will be removed. It is entirely possible that she will become a hierarch in name only. Limbus, твои озвучки на английском, так круто передаешь персонажей. Спасибо. Я стараюсь дать им разнообразие, но в конце концов их типа много. Их надо как-то разнообразить, иначе было бы монотонно. Oh, so they're threatening to fire her unless she falls in line. This is some needlessly convoluted way to... The assembly will now consider the motion of no confidence. Are there any objections to bringing the motion of no confidence against family hierarch Jia Shichun to the floor? Hold on. The vote of no confidence isn't an item you can invoke so lightly. The Shi family has no objections.
Let's say the Wang family has no objections either. Jue family too. Their arrest of the previous family heads seems to have changed precisely nothing. Those in power wore more youthful faces, but their tongues still carried the same old resistance to change. Круто передаешь корейский голос на английском. Ну, спасибо. Starajсь. The new family heads were just as uncooperative as ever, and everyone seemed to be solely interested in staying in Jia Yuanchun's good graces. New faces, same old. And needless to say, Heathcliff wasn't the only sinner fuming with rage. It's far too vexing to simply watch and do not.
Right? I knew you wouldn't let this slide, Don Quixote. They're all walking over Shichun like she's not even here.
Forsooth, we cannot let such injustice transpire unabated.
Hey, seems like we're both on the same page. That's it. I'm not going to hesitate to make myself heard again. This time I want to be courageous. With your help, Don Quixote. Come on, let's do this together. Okay?
Very well, I am in agreement.
Yeah, let's go on 3 at the same time.
If there are no objections, 1,
2.
the Assembly will put this resolution to vote in a month, and
3. Here I objection.
Bloody hell. Boy, have you gone mental?
Sinclair stood tall at the center of the entire room's undivided astonishment, alone. Eh? Don Quixote, still firmly in her seat, gazed upon Sinclair's proud stand and rubbed her nose. Young Sinclair, thou hast evolved indeed. What an unmitigated pursuer of justice thou hast become, with such unrelenting fervor and utter disregard for decorum. Certainly mine efforts have finally borne fruit. What the hell? Did Don Quixote or Heathcliff suddenly rub off on you or something?
No, wait, no. What happened there, Don Quixote? We were going to... What happened to objecting together?
Oh? I had taken thy suggestion to mean that we must voice our dissatisfaction through the official channels, borrowing the titles of the illustrious Red Gaze in the Department of LCC? Теперь только 2 человека на стриме. Ну, как бы факт. Вот еще супер пришел. Субаву! Disputes in succession of power and such a high level of government are hardly ever resolved with rash grandstanding. Wouldst thou not agree?
Why are you normal all of a sudden?
Lad, what just happened? What happened to the clammy, meek boy?
Well, that's... I guess I just assumed that this is how Limbus Company rolls now.
There seems to have been an unexpected outburst from Shichun's guests. Withdraw your objection, and we will consider this a momentary loss of control and not enter it as an official statement.
It was,
Sinclair's eyes were shaking like someone with his life on the line. If not, I take it that you have full confidence in her abilities. So please, I encourage you to elaborate. When and how will Shichun demonstrate her aptitude for the responsibilities of the family hierarch?
His
voice continues to shrivel into a corner. He can't. And how could anyone, when we all had a very clear view of her path to ascension? During the family hierarch evaluation, Jia Bao Yu donated the coins he received from Jia Chu to you. Essentially, you pity-partied your way to victory. Pity-partied? And for your ascension, Jia Chu and those outsiders from an upstart company had to, almost literally, carry you to the seat. Has there ever been a single victory attained by your own hands in that entire process? I don't know who's speaking. But have we not all been witnesses to the qualities she exhibited during the family hierarch evaluation and her own ascension? You must have no shame, snaking your forked tongue in the audience of both heaven and earth like an unwitting buffoon. That's when quiet, even footsteps broke through Jia Yuanchun's merciless dismantling of Jia Shichun. Zigong! Oh, okay. Yet, I see the point. The hierarch, with her grace, needs only demonstrate her already established qualifications before all. She's the Binky, I didn't know that. This is no place for an outsider to speak, but proceed. Just how will she prove herself before us? What an odd statement coming from a fellow outsider who's been chattering for minutes on end. Forgive me, I could only presume from your verbosity that the right to speak in this forum was open to all outsiders. You have said it yourself, no? That the vote of the no confidence resolution will proceed in a month. That seems to give the venerable hierarch a month to regain the trust of each family.
What?
It is rather clear to me that there are many who find their own defeat in the family hierarch war difficult to accept. Such a doubt is easily resolved. A match between clans should lay out the results quite obviously. Very well. A fair challenge between clans, which would preclude the participation of the family hierarch's Heisho packs in the Jialan Guard. So you would remove her power and due before the game even begins? Why not make this test a series of sparring matches in both academia and martial arts, if such is the case? Huh, what audacity! Do you truly have that much faith in Jiashi-chun's abilities? You must know the consequences of failing these matches, no? It would be unanimous, one-sided end to the vote of no confidence, and naturally, any and all rights pertaining to the family hierarch shall be transferred to the board of directors. That is fine by us. You are free to choose any champion whom you see fit. Unfortunately, your underlings don't seem to share your inflated confidence. But in the midst of the confused, flabbergasted silence from the other sinners, a clear, carefree, yet defiant voice rings out Honglu's retort. That's not true at all, big sister Yuan-chun. We actually have just as much confidence in Shichun as she does. His wide eyes stared directly and unblinkingly into Jua Yuan-chun's. It occurred to me that this might be his way of expressing anger. Impudent child. How dare you stare me down like that? Then you are welcome to try. 1 month. You have but 1 month to prove before all in audience that she is indeed fit to be the family hierarch. Should you fail, the vote may as well be a mere formality. In other words, should she successfully prove herself, none of you shall again rightly challenge the independent rights and powers bestowed upon the family hierarch. Ну не два. Yeah! Хонглу милашка, да. Чат еще прогружается долго, ребят. Что-то вот у меня вот это приложение, которое я использую для чата, оно прям начало прям очень часто лагать. Даже не знаю, как это пофиксить. The consequences of such recalcitrance would be no different from those that the traders are facing, wouldn't you agree? Ура, актив целых 3 человека, да. Well then, we will excuse ourselves now. Это не просто 3 человека, это эксклюзивный клуб, ребят. Вы часть эксклюзивного клуба. Никто, кроме вас, не слышит эту озвучку. Wait, I'm... Zigong turns around towards us with the same mysterious smile and slowly directs us outside the assembly hall. We may call them sparring matches, but you must know that each and every one of them is a test to prove your claim to the seat of the family hierarch. A month is a time far too brief for drastic improvement, regardless of whom it may be. Learning from a proper master for 10 months straight might teach you a few things, but who knows how long the search for one such master might take. Not to mention the official channels through which you must bring them past Daguan Yuan's walls, which may take up to 2 months. Why not relent now and relinquish but a part of your powers as the family hierarch to the board of directors? It seems that this fellow outsider's mental faculties are impressively lacking. My lord has spoken in the past that when in the presence of 3 people, at least one of them is bound to be a teacher of mine. And here they are, aren't they? Jiashi-chun's masters, each carrying something new to teach her. All 13 of them. Zigong gestured confidently towards the flabbergasted sinners, and the assembly came to an end. Любая глава становится лучше сразу же, как только Дон Кихот открывает рот. Факт. Просто факт. Мне даже жаль, что у меня такого голоса нет, чтобы прям передавать ее экспрессию все время. Блин, это все было только один Это все было только одна вот эта штучка. It was all just one thing for reading, and I need to read more. Okay, guys. Lots of reading today. Much reading. We were planning to train Yashichin anyway, but it seems that we are now under an unexpected deadline. Hey, when you said the LCB was going to help me out, did you guys mean that you were going to publicly humiliate the crap out of me at the assembly? Of course not, Shichun. Big sister Yuan Chun is an old snake. You've just given her 30 days to set up the perfect stage for my downfall, to prove to the world once and for all that I'm not qualified at all to be the family hierarch. But Shichun, weren't you always so good at humbling anyone who dared underestimate you? There's indeed a lot of reading in Limbus Company stories, true. Лучше раскрытие Chizuchobu? Fact. Not so much anymore. Back then, like an idiot, I thought I just had to hold on with everything I had. I thought that's all I ever had to do, but now... Now, things are different. It's true that I'm vastly underqualified to be a family hierarch, and she's right. I'm pretty much lucked into this position. Shichun, don't tell me that woman's bullshit actually got to you. Well, she wasn't completely wrong, right? I'm just some kid who happened to be just good enough to survive some traps and ambushes. I'm afraid that the responsibility of a family hierarch might be too much. Крутили баннер? Нет, не крутил я еще баннер.
Her self-confidence has significantly decreased compared to the observation from our previous interaction.
The heck, Shi-chan? I don't remember you being this kind of character. What happened to the girl who looked down on us the moment we met? You even had the audacity to pretend to not know who we were, didn't you? Where'd all that confidence go, girl? That actually got under her skin back then, huh? So, Shi-chan, what do you want to do? Озвучка мясо. Ну, так вот он, мне кажется, звучит. Так он должен звучать. Are you sure you're okay with this? Are you okay with letting this happen? If I let it happen, Big Sister Yuan Chun's going to continue expanding her influence here. I'm sure she and the board of directors have been cozying up to each other for a long time. Is the implication that her testaments on her influence were true? Yep, it's true. Before she left for Q Corp, Big Sister Yuan Chun used to always accompany Jiamu to these assemblies. If we just let them hold the vote of no confidence, they're going to unanimously vote against me and slowly reduce the family hierarch's scope of power. And who knows, they might even call for a re-evaluation, however unlikely that sounds. Потом резко мерсо, вот. Fact. Besides, Big Sister Yuan Chun, I think her definition of Hong Yuan's prosperity might be different from mine. What she's looking for isn't H Corp's prosperity. It's Takuan Yuan's. And I know that this all has something to do with its ties to Q Corp, which I bet has already been going on for a while just under my radar. I'm sure they've already had plenty of talks behind my back. Which is not the kind of vision you have for Hong Yuan's future, right? And that's why you spoke up against her? My vision for Hong Yuan is... I want to change H Corp to be the kind of place where people can live without fear. I just never imagined I'd have to prove myself like this in only 30 days. Even then, your vision hasn't changed, right? It hasn't. Great. So it's decided then, huh? We just need Fao to deliver the bad news to Sod. So, to summarize, the responsibility of training Shichun to win these matches, I mean these amorphous tests upon which hinges the family hierarch's fate, and almost every facet of which is entirely under Jia Yuan Chun's control, by the way, and is probably a trap, within the next 30 days, is ours. And we have to explain that to Sword. Wow, that sounds like a lot of work when you put it like that. Postmortem reports have become quite rote. Sometime later. Prithee, thou must impress upon the illustrious red gaze that wasn't mine idea this time. Sinclair stared blankly at Don Quixote as she made her desperate plea towards Sod. Yes, and I understand that as well, for the 8th time. As always, Sword was wearing the same refreshingly incomprehensible smile. The kind of smile that makes people increasingly anxious the longer it lasts. Well, that gives us about 30 days, during which those sparring matches, tests, whatever, will be happening as well. Great. Then let's give it our best. Sword is about to kill someone, true. Главный минус в этой главе нету дяденьки Верга и Мелкой. Да, факт. Где уже давно нету... Давно, кстати, уже вообще нету Верга и этого... и Харон. Sinclair mutters in a near whisper, clearly feeling responsible for what happened. Yo, think of the hydrate. Do I even have something to hydrate with? Yeah, I guess I do. It's Water Wednesday. True.
Yes, I understand. I never should have stepped out of line like that, but something just...
Yeah, so let's give it our best.
I totally agree. We messed up everything again and... What?
Limbus Company was always going to remain here and assist Miss Jia Shichun acclimatize herself to the responsibilities of the family hierarchy. It was always a part of our plan. Well, I sure am glad that I took Faust's advice about how meticulous planning is completely pointless when it comes to LCP's missions. I never would have had to submit 9 separate disciplinary incident reports back during the Jake Corp incident had I known. Зато в этом интервале показали Зилу. Сейчас посмотрим, да. I believe I should be able to explain this further. Prior to his departure, my lord was concerned that such a thing would come to pass. That is why he has left Zilo and I here to look after the new family hierarch's position, which must still be on rather thin ice. Oh, so that's what they were privately talking about when he pulled them aside. Doing nothing and allowing her wicked machinations to progress would have irrevocably made the entire board of directors naught but putty in Yuan Chun's hands. And that would have let that snake de facto assume the seat of the family hierarch. Against such an insidious foe who wields intrigue as her weapon, the most viable strategy is the most direct one. Challenge her head on. Дельтаруни Герсона прошел? Я, кстати, еще до сих пор так и не поиграл. Нужно поиграть в Дельтарун. Я только пару глав прошел когда-то давно. Первые 2. Besides, has this not given you the excuse you needed to prolong your company's stay in Daguan Yuan? This is also a prime opportunity for Jia Shichun to further solidify her influence here, depending on the outcome of the vote of no confidence. They have played right into our hands by accepting this deal.
So, I don't want to rain on everyone's parade, but are we not even going to consider what might happen if we fail?
No, we are not. Because you will not fail. Not with us aiding your efforts. Also, were you serious back there when you said that we were all going to teach Jia Shichun? All 12 of us? I won't object to selecting only a few of us with better aptitude to be educators. By the way, we already have an established internal hierarchy based on the sum of each of our abilities. Of course, the results weren't entirely to my satisfaction due to an unexpected incident. Miss Otis, that is a statement mired in narrowed vision, rife with factual refractions. I am of the stance that the qualities of a good teacher are defined not by such statistics. So, you must be the one who placed last in that scale.
Just don't say anything, bud. Best not to stand out like this.
I may have overreacted then. My lord has said that from the virtuous we may learn to replicate their merits, from the flawed we may learn to avoid their failings. As long as the student is willing to learn, anyone, anything can be a teacher. I also, to embrace this teaching, seek from all those who we come across. Just what in the heavens are you doing? Aha! I am preparing a lesson plan for young Shichun, our family hierarch. Wow, you sure got on that fast. So what are these yellow wormy things here? Haha, 'tis a star, twinkle twinkling in its radiance. Лучше озвучивать Отис как недовольный Милфу. А мне она просто кажется, ну типа, как это... Мне ей такой голос выдал просто потому, что захотелось. Мне показалось просто она такая Facts and Logic подлиза. Вот. We appreciate Quixote and their shenanigans. Yeah, Quixote is based.
According to the schedule you have prepared, the student would have -3 hours available for sleep. This lesson plan's execution will require cooperation from T Corp.
Thank you, Marcel. Yeah, 'twould be a mistake most fatal indeed. I shall correct it post haste. Zigong was staring at Don Quixote's expression of her wild artistic merit upon the curriculum with her usual crescent moon eyes. Wait, is that supposed to be Zigong's grimace? Of course, each to their own, I suppose. I need not to be shaken by every little thing until we have their actual lesson plans in hand. How many corps are there that use the letter of the alphabet? All of them. In this world, all of the corps use a letter of the alphabet. Ошибочно учиться Sinclair, ибо он самый молодой. Fuck. Hey, thanks for putting your faith in us, Zigong. We barely have any of that to go around ourselves, so I understand it couldn't have been easy. You could say that I have learned my lesson. The recent events have taught me that the path of learning is truly one without end. Didn't know how to phrase that. Z Corp for the win. Let's not get political on this stream. Привет, Camille. Another student. More reading. Yeah. Whoa, let's go, baby. More reading. I see that you have all individually worked on your lesson plans as per Zigong's request. I have received a total of 12 lesson plans. Yo, she looks cute. Zila looks cute. More reading for the peak reader, Arcadia. Zilo! Да, она милашка. Hold on, shouldn't there be 13 of them? Even the executive manager has decided to spare their precious time to teach a class. Yeah. I handed in my lesson plan too. That is because... so who didn't do their homework? After a brief silence, everyone turned around and looked at one of the sinners. It ain't me. Oh, please, at least try to make a compelling argument. Who else other than you could it possibly...
It's me.
You think? You've been acting out a character a lot recently. What's going on? Чёрта, все, нет будущего. Я же сказал, сегодня будет другая игра. Ты когда даже в самом начале пришел, я бы сказал, что сегодня будем играть в другую игру. Saw a dude do a wheelie outside my window, by the way. Based.
Well, that's
Sinclair was drenched in sweat for some reason.
Actually, I...
In Sinclair's seat was a large stack of papers, each filled to the brim with writing. Sinclair, are these papers?
Well, I'm done. Sorry, I got too into making a lesson plan and just couldn't stop myself from writing. Phew.
Sinclair couldn't have appeared more proud as he placed that big bundle of sweat-soaked papers in Zilu's hand. And she receives it with mild trepidation. You seem to have dedicated quite the momentous effort in drawing up this lesson plan. What's up with her? Let's start reviewing from the first of the stack. 108 analytical approaches to an aesthetes AAA. What does AAA mean? And how do you plan to explore all 108 approaches in a month?
Appreciation of artistry and assassinations.
F you went too far.
Right, sorry.
Flip a page and continue reading for those 108 approaches. What paint did you use? It's quite viscous and the paper has partially melted.
Ah, lady, watch yourself. You almost got some on my arm.
Aha, a painting. Zilu? Entrails coating the world. Now you know how I don't actually know how to read this word. Now you know how Aesthetes appreciate the artistry of slaughter. Just what the hell did you paint in that paper? Hey, get it together! Zila stumbled briefly. Whatever was on that paper must have given her quite the shock. My mind wandered for a moment. This is too dangerous to be used for a lesson. Thus, it goes to the discard pile. Aesthetes. Aesthetes? Is it aesthetes or aesthetes? Because I know it's estet. Like estet. Estet? But how do you spell out the plural? Is it estet? Aesthetes? Or I guess it's aesthetes. I guess it would be aesthetes. Weak sauce. Zila crumpled up the paper without hesitation and tossed it out of sight. Next. Intro to Societal Reintegration. Impressive title. Just read it with an Indian accent so it will not matter hello, I am an aesthete. It is time to talk about aesthetics. Aesthetis? I do not understand how to read this word. It is very strange. Жаль, тут деда не показали. Факт. Если Джачу, да, не показали деда, жаль. Chapter 1. How to shake hands with your left hand when the situation calls for it. Chapter 2. Exploration of excessively long-sleeved fashion and practices. Chapter 3. Projecting confidence and why having a bog arm is totally cool. STDs? It's gonna be STDs now.
That's, you know how it is. Be proud of who you are, all that philosophy stuff. I wanted this lesson to give a bit of paradigm shift, where we can all come to see our flaws not as failings, but as evidence of our individuality.
Спокойной ночи, Азаил. Спасибо, что пришел.
Which will usher in a world where we can carry on with our lives, no matter what kind of arm we have.
Discard. Next. Zila quickly flipped through the pages. Intro to Denigrative Linguistics. Subheading. The power of words. Sticks and stones may break their bones, so let's add the words to the pile. My credentials include the ability to dress down an opponent so hard that they fall to their knees and beg me to stop. I have plans for application as well. The lesson teaches methods pertaining to disguising compliments and criticisms and vice versa. All of this seems rather difficult to learn. I have concluded from my hitherto observations that Jiashi-chun is an individual of great promise in this field. Follow my instructions to a T, and I guarantee you that this cadet shall be able to have the upper hand in any verbal confrontations. Is this a curriculum to make the best brawler or the best family hierarch out of me? Zila seemed quite interested, but Jiashi-chun's vehement veto eventually overruled the suggestion. On Justice. Another impressive title. Subheading, Methodologies of Captivating an Entire Room of Preoccupied Audience. Discard. Fie on thee! Wherefore? Why, though? Next. Praxis of ego splitting concerning in their mirror conflict between the self and the reflection of a paradoxically fractured theory of idealism in which one attempts to open an opening door to open the door. Oh! I read it all in one breath. I'm impressed with myself. Заканчивай зарядку, тоже пойдешь? Давай, капустка, спокойной ночки. Utterly incomprehensible. Discard. Perhaps Miss Ryoshu's advice to truncate the lesson title should have been taken in earnest. Survival and exploration. 21 reasons to pay attention when the exploration team leader is giving advice on the upcoming adventure. Case study for 30 horrible mistakes that occurred because the team was distracted during the leader's lecture. How to track down a troublemaker who tries to sweep trouble under the rug while their team leader isn't looking. Someone ignored my advice that we should have been moving 2 steps ahead. Finally, I've narrowed them down to 3 culprits. Wait, I forgot to take that part out. And into the shredder it went. When did that paper shredder get here? The art of using yawning as cover for popping a cookie or 2 into your mouth. Especially useful when getting lectured. Hey, if you get good enough at it, you can do that with nuts too.
Pause.
What does Rodian know about nuts? I don't know if I want to know. So it was you who made these crunching noises in our last meeting. What? No, do you take me for an amateur? The art of social maneuver is how to let it flow through you. How to not make things awkward when you walk right in on someone bad-mouthing you. The most important part of this art is to flash a refreshing smile in a way that looks earnest. It helps when you convince yourself that smiling is what brings good fortune. Oh, God. Smiles have a way of disarming people, giving them pause and make them hesitate. I remember that. Big Bro used that technique to confuse a lot of Dagwan Yuan people who hated him. I see. This... Can't quite bring myself to throw this one into the shredder. Next. Smiling is a way to convince the brain that everything is going to be okay. Yeah, Subaru. I don't think you were here when we were doing Hong Lu's Kanto. That is literally his whole thing. He is traumatized as a child and was raised in a horrible place as a child, and basically, yeah, it was his self-defense mechanism for like years. Next, how to remain in complete stillness for a week until the next command is received. Oh my God.
This lesson plan was designed based on Rodion's advice that I must prioritize strengths that are unique to myself.
Look, in my defense, I didn't know he considered that to be his unique strength, okay? Let us consider whether standing in complete stillness for a week is a quality one might seek in the family hierarchy. I think I was, can't remember. This one's certainly interesting. What separates bravado from bravery? Jackshite. Thought off and grab your weapons. Yep, always gotta read the full print. It's my philosophy that reason don't necessarily need to be considered before coming to blows. Martial prowess is indeed an indispensable part of the family hierarch's qualities. But our focus is not on developing a hierarch of a syndicate. Next. Information disparity is a driver of inequitable treatment. Oh, that's actually the most interesting sounding one so far. And the application of engineering frameworks. Okay, it's kind of losing me, but I'm still on board. For systematic resolution in rational self-interest-driven societies. Gesellschaft-driven society. Is it still going? That was 1/5 of the full title. It seems that the same trouble has hindered both you and I. Every word in that title was added for its absolute necessity. Indeed, indeed. After she had gone through the majority of our lesson plans. Finally. Now that that's over.
Yes, it's finally my turn.
Whew. Sinclair sighed with the gravitas of someone who's just been bestowed with the most important mission in his life.
Thinking back, even back in school, I used to daydream about becoming a teacher myself, and I thought I could be good at it. So I guess you could say that I'm pretty happy to be given an opportunity like this. I call my lesson The Theory on Self-Overcoming. We have to accept that everyone stumbles at first, but by always striving to be a better person than I was yesterday...
Hey, but what if I like who I was yesterday more?
That's okay. Everyone has their own unique potential sleeping deep inside. So with everything I've learned and experienced so far, let me teach you. Let me teach you how to not doubt your own capabilities. How to always shoot higher.
Hold on, you had me for a second there, but what's up with acting like you're an infinitely more enlightened person than I am?
Well, of course. I've prepared a speaking class where you can learn how to speak with modesty, too.
I never would have imagined Sinclair would be this into it. Yeah, too bad he's so into it, he's not even listening to what Shi Chun's saying. Following that, your company's... it seems that Silo has completed her review. Oh, I see. Now, how's everything going, everyone? Class prep going well? My curriculum most especial. Okay, so that's a no. That was Sword's impression upon taking a quick glance at Don Quixote, who was sobbing and cradling the shredded pieces of her lesson plan in her hands. Well, he wasn't a complete bust, at least. Sinclair's lesson plan survived.
Phew. Miss Zigong, Miss Sod, I've prepared a full 30 days worth of lesson plans. Would you like to take a look?
But Zigong and Sod weren't looking at the dozens of lesson plans Sinclair presented so proudly before their eyes. They were looking away. Zigong especially was looking away with an unmistakable expression of pity. So he doesn't know. Would you mind explaining this, Zilu? I could not bring myself to tell him. Apologies. So this young man produced this entire sizable stack of lesson plans all on his own. I see. Weakness has found its way into your heart in the face of such earnest effort. I understand. However, sorry. However, it has been decided that Sinclair will not be participating as one of Jiashi-chun's teachers. Or should I call you pupil Sinclair, to be exact?
This has got to be a mistake, right? Isn't Shichun the pupil here?
No, there haven't been any mistakes. My lord has specifically instructed that you are to learn from this as well.
What? What?
Seriously?
This isn't right. Guys, this isn't right.
Now this looks like a proper classroom. It would have felt pretty dang empty with just Shichun sitting there all on her own, don't you think? Besides, I bet Sink's the resident expert on going to schools, right? School was a luxury for me, you know?
Yeah, maybe, but it doesn't mean I ever wanted to go back to school.
You should learn to be grateful. I don't dole out my teachings to just anyone. Don't forget, we have to redo the whole lesson plan under their supervision.
Otius, you always get on your soapbox and try to lecture everyone about something after every single battle anyway. And you, Ishmael, you always get hyperfixated on something. Once you find something interesting, you never stop talking about it for 3 hours at least, and...
I will ensure that you receive the best education I can provide, Sinclair.
Hold on, Yisang, I thought we were the underdog duo. Remember during the checkup when I said we got this? We were going to get this together.
The evaluation painted a twisted picture of the true scale of strength, the sole measure of which erroneously relied entirely on physical might. I shall not hesitate to impart knowledge for those who require education.
Не смог уснуть?
Эх. А это потому, что у тебя открытый глаз на нике. У тебя вот азаилый глаз, поэтому не можешь уснуть. Вот надо закрыть.
Congratulations, my lady. You have found yourself a deskmate, which some also call a bestie, depending on the desk placement.
Deskmate, bestie, what the heck does any of that mean? Huh? Jiashi-chun's eyes widened with confusion as though she had just heard those words for the first time in her life.
When I first met her when she was 16, she explained to me that she hadn't attended any school-like institutions. This is par for the course for children of Hong Yuan who are raised for the purpose of becoming the next family hierarch. The reason being that schools can be a perfect place to assassinate someone.
Ну, естественно, надо все 3 слота прокачать.
So deskmates and besties.
Sinclair began to explain, seemingly resigned to the fact that he was essentially going back to school for a month with the other sinners as his teachers.
Usually sit next to each other and help one another out. The bestie might nudge the other awake when they doze off, share their homework with one another if they one forgot to do theirs. They usually end up being included in the best memories of each other's school time.
So not very important at all, huh? I think I got this on my own. I don't need a bestie. It may have come a few years late, but I am moved that my lady finally has a chance of experiencing school. Same here. I remember it like yesterday. Shichun would sit and watch other kids walk to school from a distance, tears welling in her eyes. Dude! Oh, that reminds me. One day out of nowhere, she started saying something about eating from lunch boxes with friends. I haven't a clue as to how or where she even heard about it, but she snuck to the kitchen and... Хорошо, да. Ah, wait. Don't you guys have lesson plans to write? Come on, hurry up. 30 days are ticking down. We've only got 30 days. Of course. Unfortunately, I have become quite occupied with another task of great importance. Assisting Wei with indexing and reviewing various documents that are in critical need of organizing. Thus I must leave the lesson planning task to you two, Zilu and Miss Sod. Have you any thoughts on this matter? Slacker. What was that? I said nothing. Zulu is based. And kind of cute. I like Zulu. I didn't think we'd get to see her without the mask. Okay, 30 days of classes. Let's go. More talking first. Hold on, sorry, more reading. Zilo and Sod appear to have aged several years overnight, their faces sunken and sallow. Finally, after referencing the idiosyncrasies and various statistical data available to us regarding each sinner, we managed to come up with an appropriate curriculum. Oh, she has bags under her eye, dude. Miss Zilo? Oh, apologies. Sleep deprivation has relieved me of clear mind. The path of an educator is truly a grueling one. Marching to battle would be much easier. Still, thanks to Mr. Jiachu's methodology you shared, we did manage to find a way to make this quite efficient. Efficient, huh? To be a true family hierarch, there are dozens, hundreds of virtues one must understand and master. However, to do so in 30 days as promised is an implausible effort. Thus, we have categorized the countless virtues into 3 super categories. And they're called... what are these supposed to be? Ji, Yong, and Ren. Ji, wisdom. We, the wise, lose neither people nor words. To hold one's silence in need of speech shall cost them people. To speak in need of silence shall cost them words. A reasonable sequence of logic. Young, courage, the ability to overcome fear, to act decisively. Have too much of it and risk becoming a brute. Have too little and risk becoming a craven. It needs harmony and balance.
Uh-huh. So how far are we allowed to go with corporal punishment again?
I recall no instance of any discussion regarding corporal punishment. And Ren, humanity, is the benevolence of the heart, the compass of behavior that dictates respect toward every human.
Clearly, most of the faculties at this school are severely lacking in all 3 of your criteria. Just how do you think they'll be able to teach the students anything?
Yeah, like a certain someone who needs a lesson in Ren.
Are you sure I'm in good hands? Just what the heck am I supposed to learn here? Where's Wei? Mr. Wei and Ms. Zigong are currently quite preoccupied with handling the monumental task of paperwork. Right, Mr. Wei wanted me to deliver this message to you.
Be strong, my lady.
Wei! Despite her protestations, the 30 days of classes commenced. Alright, finally. Oh my god, we get to play the game! Oh, it's only been an hour. Okay. Nice class schedule. So, this is a mandatory class. Okay, I guess this is tip-top. My morale is good. Aha. And I have 2 students here. Okay. Jiaxichun, level 50. Apparently I can look at them. Do I click on these? Class schedule. Combo? I don't know any combo combinations. Okay. Begin class, I guess. My name is Yisan, that is all. The class I have prepared for the day.
I've heard plenty about your mirror tech. Which makes me wonder, going by the level of advancement of the technology, couldn't you have approached it from a different angle? You know how technological advancement usually goes. People invent it for the sake of creation, only to have their inventions inevitably warped into weapons of destruction.
Indeed. You show much promise already. As you surmise now, the mirror has, in the past, almost been employed to shatter possibilities instead of reflecting them.
I'm sure that's the angle most others wanted to see happen. Removal of potential risks sounds much more palatable than the potential itself to some people, after all.
Correct again. Yet destruction was a word that bore too much suffering from my heart. My sole egress from it that was abandonment of my quondam fellows and my life's work. Quondam?
What even is that word? Making myself a fugitive from the past. Gundam fellows? Are you playing Gundam? Sorry, I just don't know the word.
How did you bring yourself to just abandon it all?
I conversed.
With who?
With myself that lies within me. As you are aware, the mirror's reflection extends beyond the veils of our own reality. It reflects the potentialities, the latent strength in the world. Yet, even among them, the reflection of the greatest importance is that of the self. Let not the innumerable worlds of the mirror enchant your gaze. First, one must direct their studies inward and reflect upon oneself. I learned how to be more true to myself by looking into the mirror. Jiashi-chun has grown. These are so cute, actually. I love these. Especially this Jiashi-chun picture. This is awesome. This is so cute. Can you take a screenshot of this? Cute. Jia is cute. Jiashi-chun. Friend plus 18 and the other one plus 4. Okay. Now, if you're prepared, do explain what you see in the mirror. You needn't haste. For some reason, Shichun appeared to hesitate before the mirror.
Hey, you know, it's been a while since I looked into the mirror for so long.
My lady, do you recall Sun Zhen of the Shi family who contacted you for a meeting?
Yeah, the guy who said he was going to show me a precious flower that blooms only at night. I remember that you were vehemently against me going out there, so I stayed inside. I wonder what kind of flower it was.
Don't tell me you were actually looking forward to meeting him, my lady.
Oh, of course not.
You were wise to stay inside. It was revealed that you weren't the only person who was invited, my lady. That vile man had hired a group of assassins to ambush the meeting spot, and would have been waiting there to spring the trap had you gone. But apparently he was outplayed, and had his limbs and head torn off as punishment. A relief, isn't it?
I guess. I'm glad I didn't go away. You were right.
If only you still had the Wu branch under your control.
Stop it. We agreed to move on from that, remember? We don't have to talk about it.
I was brushing my hair and looking into the mirror as we were talking, but I realized that I no longer recognized the girl in the mirror. I don't know why, but I just found it so hard to meet her eyes. But I brushed it off because I had to. An experience like that was going to be a common occurrence anyway, and the family hierarchy war was always looming on the horizon. Perhaps what you felt then may have been shame, but it's paramount to face oneself nonetheless. Nay, especially so if it was. And Sinclair, what do you see?
I see. Well, I just see myself smiling, and I see what's so out of the ordinary.
But it seemed like Sinclair couldn't really bring himself to face the mirror.
Hey, after what we just discussed, I think I understand something now. Now that I've had some quiet time looking at my reflection, I think I uncovered a part of myself I've had hidden away for a long time.
Okay. I had a very precious time learning to converse with my inner self. This music is so weirdly cheerful. More Ren. Okay. I learned how to be more true to myself by looking into the mirror. Class leveled up to expert. Okay. All right. Jiashi-chun's slash resistance became better. Okay. All right. Okay, I see. Upgrade. I mean, I have to. Like, this is the only thing I can do. Okay, I guess. Mandatory class.
It's true that a station of teaching is prone to imbue one with a sense of bashfulness.
Sinclair and Shichun both sat with a bit of apprehension as well. Which is understandable, given what Sword told them before the lesson started. Otis, who'd been glaring daggers at Don Quixote for a good while, finally decided to voice her doubt to Sword.
So, what is Don Quixote, that woman, supposed to teach? Have you not considered that her unusual flippancy might only cause more trouble than it's worth? You worry too much, Otis. While she may not look it, Don Quixote's extremely well versed in those adventure tales. And why would any of that matter? Have you yourself considered that fixers often appear when history is in the making? Let us see here.
Don Quixote took a second to savor the moment as though she had been preparing her whole life for it, then continued. Amongst the greatest fixers whose honored names are engraved with history, verily, let us commence this lesson with the tale of the fixer UFA. This tale beginneth in the year... sometime later.
Are you done?
Just how can she continue to talk at such length? She's been going for ages. Thus cometh the time to test thy dedication to this class, and the knowledge that should naturally come with it. A pop quiz, if thou wilt. When she even find the time to prepare this? I can assure thee it is a quiz of entirely reasonable difficulty. If thou hast paid attention in class, worry thee not.
Does this pop quiz have prizes?
Aha, but of course I came prepared for such increase. For each correct answer, I shall bestow upon thee, from the very treasure chest of mine, these precious, precious fixer badges. Forsooth, I did not let a single day go by in which I did not polish each and every one of them on 3 separate occasions at the very least. I don't know, I don't really need them. Hold thine applause, for there is a bonus reward for the victor who, by the end of the match, carries more badges. Thou shalt attain the role of a protagonist in this theatrical play of my making, Fixer Chronicles, UFA. It is an opportunity of a lifetime.
I'm still not really... It's not doing anything for either of us.
It's still a pretty useless reward, but if you're turning this into a competition, I won't lose.
Seriously?
What, scared you'll lose? Is history your weakness or something?
I'll have you know that I was the teacher's pet in every single history class I took.
And I'll have you know that I was, no matter the subject, showered praise from every master I ever had.
Okay, if that's how you want to play it. I'll have you know that I was a prodigy in other classes too.
Prodigy.
I did great in art classes, pretty good in math too. I was just being humble because I didn't want to steal your thunder, she should.
Oh, then let me tell you that I was trained in the mastery of at least 10 different disciplines every single day. And when one of these days, you know what one of my masters told me? He said, looks like Miss Jashichun's finally getting a feel of how friendships close in age are forged in school. That's good. No matter how excellent her masters were, there are some experiences you just can't learn from teachers.
I TikToked in response.
It's year 505. What is the historical community's consensus of the most illustrious battle the Fixer UFA is said to have partaken in? Allow me to impart to thee a major clue. If thou hadst paid attention as I discoursed upon the 5 villages in which the Fixer UFA was mentioned, this should not be a difficult question to answer. The honorable Fixer of the Cerulean Heaven, who attained triumph in the Battle of Rhino Tree in the year 465, hath said what was the worst ordeal she had to face in her career? I've got it. It's when she had to forge onward, despite watching her dear comrades fall one by one as they held the line to buy her time.
Oh, damn it, I was too slow.
Hi, young Shi-chun. Thou art incorrect. Honorable Fixer of the Cerulean Heaven is recorded to have testified that the worst ordeal in her career was when she was forced to stand before her enemies with hair that was not luscious, and the supply line breakage caused her regular delivery of nutritional supplements to cease. What thou hast suggested, young Shi-chun, was her 17th most difficult ordeal.
She's speaking like she was actually there.
Thine impression is quite understandable, for I am trained in the ways of vividly regaling these tales, but most of these tales I have learned from books. Much did I anticipate an opportunity to regale these tales to such audience, enough to study the ways of minstrels.
There was a clear look of pride in her twinkling eyes. Time certainly flies when hearing the tales of exciting adventures. Okay. We're growing a lot of Ren.
What was the secret technique Honorable Fixer Lysander employed in his resolution of the case of the Fey Forest? Speak its name in full.
I got it. It's a Summer Night Fantasia.
Ha! Yet I cannot let pass such an unmotivated retelling of this super ultimate move. Hardly could one internalize the true noble spirit of Fixers by simply reciting it with such apathy. Thou must recreate the exact pose and enunciation.
Are you kidding me?
Oh. Come on. You can do this, Jashi-chan. You can do this. This is nothing. Illusions of a midsummer night shall devour the whole summer night fantasia.
Nice.
Thine enunciation was quite shaky upon the word illusions, yet thou hast demonstrated sufficient courage. Thus I bestow upon thee this badge.
Nice.
Thigh. I grow tired of this nonsense. Just how much longer are you planning to drag this on? Thus muttered the hero, then declared, I shall tear this evil storm asunder and find a place for this blade at the center of thy heart.
Dante, lights! Left slide!
Gotcha. Donkey Hod, who was watching Sinclair and Jashi-chan's two-person play, silently wiped her tears away.
Bravo, bravo.
Certain minor details were missed, such as that UFA, the Fixer, was left-handed, and that he had the habit of playing with a lighter in his left pocket before every duel, yet it was a wonderful reenactment indeed. I have no other critique to impart upon thee. When faced with great adversity in thine adventures, rekindle the memory of UFA, the Fixer's final duel. Remember it well. Thus cometh to an end the lessons of today. Huh. It was just for a moment, but I think I'm starting to get it. I get why she's so obsessed with Fixers. Clutched tightly in Shichun's hands were the badges Donkey Hod had gifted to her. Alright, awesome. Time flies. We get more Ren. And then we get more Ren. A lot of Ren, actually. Yashichun gained 60 max HP. Alright. I guess you are also mandatory, yeah. So what are the numbers? XP plus 30, morale plus 30. Okay, so I need to use her when the morale gets low. But I should probably use 2 Yisangs here. Oh, wait. I have to... Okay, I guess I have to do this then. Boom. This is a component part taken from the structure that forms H-Corp. This may prove to be an opportunity to conduct an in-depth analysis of the nature of the former H-Corp singularity, which has been enduring for such a long time.
Oh, you look kind of upbeat today, Miss Faust.
Indeed. An opportunity to study the old H-Corp singularity is not one that comes often. As there was potential for integration into Mephistopheles, I made a request to disassemble a part of the bus's engine, but was denied. A shame.
Aren't you the one who built Mephistopheles, though, Miss Faust?
Mephistopheles is indeed Faust's work, but not all of it was mine. It is possible that Faust may never reveal every small detail that went into its creation. I would very much enjoy a chance to completely disassemble it, even its engines, so that it could be reassembled with my own hands.
Yeah, sure.
Fixer Association Encyclopedia for Dummies. Oh, that's a combo. Okay, so these combos... These combos are comboing. Okay. Lots of G. So like the rational one, the wisdom.
So that's how it works. I think I get it. Didn't think this is how I'd get to learn more about the old H-Corp. I don't think I could do much against the Reconstruction days right now, but this knowledge will certainly come in handy when the day comes for me to gradually dismantle that iniquitous thing. The day when Hongyuan can be a place where people can live without fear. Without the fear of the encroaching Reconstruction days, without obsessively counting their rooms to see if they'll fall or not, until Hongyuan can be a place where you can sleep with the promise of safe tomorrows.
I'm sure you'll pull it off. Oh, and I learned a lot during this lesson too, Miss Faust.
Bang.
The voltage must have been set too high. Repeating experiment with a different combination of fuses and wires.
There was supposed to be a lesson somewhere in there, right?
She's just experimenting, I guess. Okay. And then we get morale full. Class leveled up to expert. Okay. Nice. Okay. Okay. So we have mandatory classes for like the first several days. Alright. Let's think now. I guess I have to... I guess I should be using these two right now while the morale is high. And then I'll put her in when the morale gets lower. Unlike some of the classes which were more on the upbeat side of things, the room's air felt grim and solemn as soon as everyone saw what Gregor had written on the chalkboard. On war. Losing a wing war leaves a much larger, longer-lasting impact than some medium-sized enterprise closing up shop. It might be too soon to talk about this, but we came pretty darn close to one recently, didn't we? We were this close to a large-scale war breaking out here, which absolutely would have happened if Miss Shichun here failed to finish her ascension. Would have spread like wildfire, too. So, my class is going to be exactly what happens when a war... Oh. The piece of chalk slipped from Gregor's fingers as he went to scribble something on the board. His left hand was trembling as though the room's temperature had plummeted only for him. Man, why's it gotta... Excuse me, Miss Zilu, is it okay if I smoke? Go ahead. You good? Well, when else am I gonna get a chance to share the realities of war right into a wing chief executive officer's face, huh? The moments that just don't come off your skin no matter how hard you scrub at them. Hey, take a break if you need it. I'm going to listen to every word you have to say here today, no matter how long it takes. Man, do I appreciate that sentiment. Well, still though, I can't dilly-dally when Miss Shichun's got other stuff to deal with, huh? So, let's take a look at how things were at the very beginning of the Wing War. Now I know enough about urban and trench warfare to give an explanation of my own. That's still cute. I like this. This is still cute. More cute. And that's why the smoke war fronts were mostly characterized by trench warfare. No one wanted to risk fighting in concrete jungles where they could be surrounded by enemies at all times. So everyone tried to draw each other out into an open field battle, which naturally turned into trench warfare. Of course, every wing has a different singularity, so this isn't really applicable to all cases. It's just that the former G-Corp found flat plains easier to maneuver in. I feel like Dogwan Yuan could make a pretty good use of Hong Yuan as a defensive fortress. Especially with its internal structure constantly shifting around, which the Heisho know and use very well. Exactly. This should explain why they were hesitating outside Dogwan Yuan. Remember the thumb fellas? The ones we met who were going in circles? Not to mention how the Heisho all utilize the topography of Hong Yuan differently. Even if an outsider were to get a read on how one of the branches maneuver around Hong Yuan, as long as the 12 Heisho branches are standing, Hong Yuan is unassailable. Well, despite going into all that, I'm sure we all know what the best answer in all warfare is. Not having a war in the first place. I'll be honest, I can't stop thinking about some of the stories you've been telling us. I can't even imagine what it would have been like to have to not only witness it, but go through all of that. We did visit your fathoms, Gregor, but that wasn't even the tip of the iceberg. The city was devoured in smoke, its citizens in madness. He'd always shrug off those stories as ramblings of the past, but during the war he stood at the center of the heartless machine that was the city, its every gear calibrated to slaughterhouse precision to maximize the death of its people. There he must have witnessed things far worse than the worst the city presently has to offer. His eyes gazed beyond the veil of the bygone past, shaking restlessly, in pursuit of what was no more.
Oh boy. Sorry, fellas. I'm afraid I got carried away lamenting what happened that I forgot this was supposed to be a class. I'll be sure to prep something more useful next time.
No, no. Everything you told me really solidified my resolve. This chaos within Hong Yuan needs to come to an end soon, lest something so horrible could happen. I'm heading to my next class.
Oh, wait for me.
Even after the two students had left, Gregor lingered in that room for a while, lighting up cigarette after cigarette without erasing what he wrote on the chalkboard. Smoke soon filled the room. He left only after almost emptying the entire pack. Taxidermy geniuses, okay. It blew up in her face. It's funny. Surviving Hong Yuan. Nice. Okay, we're doing good on morale. We don't need to send her again yet. So he gives kind of like Yong and Ren a bit each. We're gonna get G and Ren. I guess let's focus on getting more G and Ren. Or maybe I can do... Maybe I can do without the Ren this time. We can just do G and a bit more Yong. Let's try this. How are classes going, Shichun? I'm not you, big bro. I pay attention in class.
Oh, hello, Miss Dayu.
She was really insistent on helping me out, even though I refused because she looked preoccupied. The moment I found out about the contents of his lesson plan, I simply couldn't allow him to do this alone. Looks like it's going to be another serious class. Apologies for the delayed greetings. Dayu of the Lin family formally extends her greetings to the venerable hierarch. Been a while since I heard that greeting around here. Wait, what about Big Sis Baochai? Are you sure it's okay for a Zhua family bodyguard to be here? I'm no longer employed as Miss Baochai's guard.
Oh, wait, don't tell me we got you...
Everything I did that day, including accompanying you, was under Miss Baochai's orders. As for why she no longer needed my services, I don't understand myself. She suddenly let me go after the trouble was over. So, what's there for you to teach me, big bro? Your last lesson plan about not making things awkward got vetoed by Zelos, so... You could have taught me a thing or two if we were still kids, but come on, you spent most of your time stuck in Hongyuan before leaving Hongyuan. I don't know what you could possibly have to teach me. Don't you worry, Shichun. This is the one thing I think I'm pretty good at. My lesson for Shichun and Sinclair is... In clear, neat handwriting, Honglu wrote, surviving Hongyuan on the chalkboard. Oh, well, I don't think I need any help in that department from you. Look, I know you've had your share of assassination attempts, Big Pro. But Jiamu, the previous hierarch and the Elder's favorite sheltered you from the worst of it.
She's not wrong, but back when we had to fight our way through a bunch of sweepers, weren't you also one of the handful who got assassinated?
Oh, that? I was wandering the hallways because I felt like something was off about my room. Until Dante told us all to go back to our rooms, of course. Wait, it was my fault? You do have some intuition, I'll give you that. Looks like I'm going to have to prove myself. Dayu, would you mind preparing the thing? You have my utmost faith, but please do practice caution. Sometime later, Lin Dayu appeared with 4 bowls, splishing with tea, before sprinkling some powder into one of them.
What's that?
That's powdered wolfsbane. I see where this is going. You're going to teach me how to tell which one of these bowls contain poison, right? You can stop now. I learned to recognize infamous poisons like wolfsbane when I was 7. If it was something as tame as you were suggesting, Venerable Hierarch, I would not have been here to accompany him. Lin Dayu continued her process, sprinkling wolfsbane powder into 2 more bowls. Hong Lu, who was watching that with an oddly contented expression, closed his eyes. Please mix them up, Dayu.
Okay, wait, what?
We stared in confusion, but we could hardly tell what was going on with the speed at which Lin Dayu swapped around the bowls. When we looked back at Honglu, there were 3 silver spoons in his hand. Those silver spoons were custom made at Dagwan Yuan's request. A must-have item for the children of the 4 great houses. They can detect non-sulfuric poison as well. Учеба меня и на стриме догоняет. Всем вечера. Привет, Серег. Тут как бы народу-то мало сегодня у нас. Ребята, которые раньше смотрели меня в Лимбусе, видимо, решили, что я больше не стримлю Лимбус. А ребята, которые приходили на Art of War, ну, они сегодня не пришли, потому что сегодня Лимбус и не Art of War. Так что немного одиноко, но много читаю. Читаю. Мне весело. Главное, что мне весело.
Yeah, I know. They're actually...
Actually what?
It's nothing. In Hongyuan, where we are beset by threats of assassination from all directions, knowledge alone isn't enough to save you. What the heck are you?
But Honglu opens his eyes before Jiashi-chun can finish the sentence. Звучит печально? Да не, вначале-то был народ. Просто ребят пошли спать уже. Часть народа уже пошли спать. Если бы меня здесь не было... Факт. Then he throws the silver spoons in his hands like throwing pins towards the 3 of the balls. And immediately chucks the 4th ball, which he hadn't thrown a spoon at.
Holy crap, are you insane? You barely even checked them for...
Shiren's newer tea is always delicious, even when cooled. The 3 silver spoons Honglu had cast earlier were slowly melting away after quickly becoming tarnished black. Is wolfsbane poison supposed to melt through metal? People like to be thorough with their poisons on Dagwan Yuan. Since everyone's been trained for immunity since childhood, you have to make a mixture of various poisons to have a real effect. Ha. Fine. I don't even want to argue. What's your secret? I want to know too. Do these sound different or something? I just went with my hunch. Just a hunch? How are we supposed to learn that? We're not Heathcliff, you know. You'll get the hang of it after a few tries. Dagwanyan? Fuck. Есть такое. I'll help you out. Shall we begin with 2 balls? Название точно кошки придумали? Не, китайцы. I saw right through every assassination method Honglu prepared. Yay! Surviving Hong Yuan.
I see. When you say you just avoided whatever felt wrong with a hunch, you were reflexively identifying the threat by reading the room and connecting it to your intuitive experiences.
Aha. You were using Miss Dayu's anxious breathing to clue you in.
So this is how you managed to survive for so long. Listen carefully, Shichun. I know that the adepts of each Heisho will come to your aid with a flick of your wrist. And I know that your residence, Nanxiang Wu, will be engineered by the best craftsmen to become a safe fortress stocked to the brim with all kinds of useful boluses to protect your life. Even still, there will come a day when you start to feel this creeping sensation whose origin you can't identify. And when it does, I hope you won't brush off that sensation as nothing. Нянчан Ву и тут коты. Да блин! Коты китайские везде. Jiashi-chun whipped around away from Honglu as if to express dissatisfaction, but her softened expression told me that she was glad to see him worried. Так, дальше у нас PDS Details. Когда иконе в наряде Неква? Ну, блин. Не знаю. У меня сейчас денег на новые наряды нет, к сожалению. Наряды все-таки не дешево стоят. Every 6 days you will be subjected to midterms, prepared by the board of directors, Jia Yuanchun. A palanquin has been prepared to take you to the exam sites, and only by passing the tests may Jia Shichun retain her status as the family hierarch. Oh, don't worry yourself overmuch, Master Wei. You sound like you're at a funeral. She will pass these tests with ease, as long as she has been diligently taking her classes.
No, I simply hope I can survive until she returns. It seemed that Wei's rather funereal voice wasn't just out of his concern for Ji-chun. Wei? Wait, are you sure you're okay?
I can't escape them even in dreams. The unfinished bundles of paperwork cascading over me like a storm, burying me.
Хватаешь художницу, режешь ей в лицо, мнешь на иконе, в нем в костюме. А художница такая отвечает мне, короче, в лицо орет тоже. Это будет стоить денег. А потом еще аниматор мне такой говорит, у меня нет слотов. А так, да, так будет.
Steel yourself, but that was no dream at all. In fact, never have I once seen paperwork in the arts of airwalking until now. I must be severely sleep deprived.
Looks like we're not the only ones going through the ringer. Okay. Just improved. Okay. Mandatory class. Okay, it's a midterm. Okay, it's midterm. Morale is okay. I guess I don't know classes. We just go.
Hey, you're one of the she boys.
We finally meet. I had hoped to fight you in the family hierarch war. Ставь ультиматум. Либо чат пойдет на иконе под хвост, либо аниматоры и художницы придется сочтить себе в этом магистриале. Но, блин, опять же, был бы у меня такой прям большой чат, который бы донатил на костюмчики, было бы круто. Так нет. If you'd run into me then... Isn't this supposed to be a sparring match? Why does it sound like you have a personal grudge against me? Oh, it's nothing. Nothing at all. Why in the world would I ever hold a grudge against you? The results of the family hierarch war couldn't be any clearer, and everyone even remotely connected to the mess has all been dragged away and put under investigation. And hey, guess what? They dragged away half of my family, which means more room for me. I should really thank you, right? Honestly, why don't you just declare a war against the She family at this point? Wouldn't that be much easier? War is not easy. It never is. But what are you on about all of a sudden? It's not something we should be talking so lightly about, even as a joke. Your family was arrested because they're under investigation for treason against Dagwan Yuan. If they're innocent, I'm sure they'll be released soon enough. I know it's pretty much a given that they'll all be ruled as guilty, regardless of what really happened. You know, I can't even pay them a visit because you've hidden their cells all over Hong Yuan. They're not hidden. All holding cells within Hong Yuan have always been designed to move around in very short intervals. You know, that does seem like the kind of design that would lead people to make some unfortunate assumptions, though I'm sure the initial purpose was to prevent escapes. I recently gained a better understanding of Hong Yuan's structure, so I'm planning to change our policy so that prisoners still on trial are allowed to have fixed locations.
Really? Where did you...
I was lucky enough to have a few excellent classes recently. Managed to reflect upon myself a bit too.
You did change a little.
Still, you better not expect me to go easy on you. I've got my own things to take care of. Okay, let's fight. Time to fight, come on.
Many illustrious fixers of the past have said that naught but disparagement awaits unjust victories.
This is a... Yeah, вот это, конечно, картинка топовая. Это топ-картинка. Просто пог. Погич. Ooh. Okay, no, I don't control. She just does her thing.
Pew, 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 pew.
Alright. Well. Ну, она вроде побеждает. Это хорошо.
Crimson Spring.
Это какой-то умамусумы. Просто я еще не могу гоночки скипнуть. Я должен смотреть на них. Easy win. Тут, конечно, было бы трудно проиграть.
Good for you, you won. Now stop giving me that look and get out of here. You lost most of your clan during the family hierarch war, didn't you?
Yeah, so what? Are you calling me a penniless loser?
Yeah. You little. And I'm sure that's what I look like to you too. I don't want your... Sorry. Every clan member who died in the evaluation to have died for nothing. If I show weakness, that means I'm making everyone who participated in the evaluation look weak. So I'm going to win. And I'm going to win without the fertile soil my predecessors have left behind, because their legacy was unjustly nourished by the blood and tears of Hong Yuan itself. Shi Huazhen, you are tenacious, determined, and strong of will. That must be why everyone stood by you, down to the last man.
You knew my name, ma'am?
I do. So what do you think? Want to make them sing your name in the glory of for the remaining history of Hong Yuan?
Yeah, friendship, yay!
Friends.
Окей. Опять mandatory class. Ну, можно моральку поднять. I guess I can raise morale now. So this will give me G, more Ren. She will give me a lot of Young. I need more Young. Young! Where's the Young? You give Young. Young and Ren. And then this. Yeah, for morale purposes. Heard you managed to come out on top in your first sparring match. Congrats.
Thanks. I gotta admit, your classes are definitely coming in handy.
I like your attitude. Well, shall we take a look at what I prepared for today?
You're teaching about exploring? Huh? It's supposed to be an indoors class.
Yep, exploring. Where should I begin? It's a very big subject. Free soloing to the top of the highest building in Hong Yuan. Surviving 10 days in Hong Yuan back streets with only 3 items. I had plenty of ideas, but most of them got denied. And rightly so. And that's when I realized that exploring isn't always limited to adventures in the physical space. A few weeks ago. So I'm just here to fill in since this game needs a certain number of players, but really, can you really call this tabletop game an adventure? Yet, in games of make-believe, any simulacra can be made as real as, ah, what a move! Oh, nice. I'm gonna roll for damage.
Young Ishmael, thou hast absolutely pummeled the Gorgon beast with thy fireball spell, rendering it most crispy.
Конечно же, Дон Кихот геймит в D&D. It was a formidable foe. This was wonderfully executed, Miss Ishmael. Oh, really? Well, then is my next move.
And that's how you came up with this?
I've played a few other games, but this is new for me too. I'm still pretty new in general, I guess. Здесь отходил в душ, жара убивает. Раз нас нехуй делать, разрешишь поплакать на азиатов? Конечно. Конечно, можно. This is called Jianghu Journeys, or J&J. This is a popular game among Hong Yuan's youths. It's gotten generally positive reviews too. But Ishmael, so proudly presented before everyone, appeared to be a board game with numerous cards and minifigures.
Okay, what do these huge piles of papers have to do with exploration?
Rule number 1. The most experienced player among those gatherers becomes the JM.
The JM?
Yeah, Journey Master. The Journey Master designs the story around the player's choices, sets the stage for what happens next, and generally helps guide the explorers to safely arrive at their goals. That's why the most experienced player takes that role. Это такое сообщение, которое мне пришлось опрувнуть. Ручную. Двухбуквенные фамилии. Ну, факт. Но опять же, тут, блин, я вот сижу, понимаешь, и все канта читаю вот эти фамилии. Чу, какие там еще были. Ши и вот так далее. Which would be me. Wiz, Stir, Dex. Each character seems to have these things called stats. Well, looks like we just have to pick from a set of pre-made characters for this one. Ведь у кого-то фамилии не фамилии, а именно имена. Ну, опять же, обычно в азиатской традиции сначала пишется фамилия, а потом имя. So I'm supposed to be playing this character's role? Sinclair and Jashichun picked up their cards with confusion clear in their eyes. You arrive at the great city of Yan Yun, a place known to be the gathering hub for all kinds of influential people. You traveled here in search of a legendary treasure called, the Tian Ya Sword. The city of Yan Yun, huh, cool. So why are we looking for that sword again? It's, because, so there's this legend in Yan Yun about how the sword of, the Tian Ya sword is the only way to quell the chaos of these lands and bring peace to its people, and also about how having the sword is proof of the true leader of these lands, and so on and so forth, you know? Ishmael was stuttering and stammering through the introduction without her usual confidence. I see. The city called Yan Yun must be in a lot of trouble, too. Seemingly affected by the oddly familiar setting of the story, Jiashi-chun nodded solemnly without noticing Ishmael stumbling through the introduction. Well, you know how it is. The point is, you guys need to go find that sword. Then I will claim the Tianya sword, no matter what it costs me. Jiashi-chun nods with determination. Она отличный ролплеер. Корейцев веселее, у них имена хотя бы отличаются, но в них язык сломаешь. Да. Там трудные. У них еще вот эти вот, когда пишутся, допустим, Джон, типа J-E-O-N-G, то это считается Джон. И надо как-то вот это все прочитать быстро. Сложно. Окей, поиграли в ролевки. From the rumors you've gathered, it seems that the Kajan Keep might have heard of the whereabouts of that sword. What will you do?
I walked to the Kajan Keep, chat him up, and try to gain his trust.
Are you sure? Remember, your whiz is extremely low right now, which means that you'll find it hard to form even the simplest sentences.
What if I found a different way to gain the Kajan Keep's trust that doesn't involve sweet-talking him? I do have a pretty high strength stat, which would give me access to certain alternative methods of persuasion that doesn't require skill in speechcraft.
Hold on. I'll try to convince the Kajan Keep. I think I've got a decent chance at this. My whiz is pretty high. And you passed the check. The Kajan Keep looks at you, having lowered his guard. С японцами весело только при адаптации. В России не существует единой строго определенной системы перевода японского. Насколько мне известно, в России существует строго две школы перевода японского. Советская и новая. И вот как раз-таки в этом разница. То есть по какому словарю тебя учат, по какой системе, так ты и переводишь. Ну вот, по крайней мере, насколько я знаю. Я когда-то изучал японский сам. Kajan Keep looks at you, having lowered his guard. Oh, not you, Sinclair. He's still pretty wary of you.
Okay then, I guess I'll just stand in the corner over here, unsheath my weapon, and play around with it for a bit. That's what he expects me to do anyway, isn't it?
You're just role-playing Heathcliff now, aren't you? The Kajan Keep shares some information about the sword he heard. He explains that the party should seek northeast towards Yinji Mountain. But, what's this? Tears begin to well in the Kajan Keep's eyes as he continues to explain. Apparently a patrolling guard beat his son pretty badly, just for loitering around the guard. The wound is pretty severe, so he needs medicine, but he can't seem to find any.
Oh no.
That's too bad, but we've got a job to do. Since we have what we came here for, we leave the Kajan. Well, they say that JMs aren't supposed to interfere with the player's choices, but let's be honest. I would have made the same choice. You can't stop and help out for every single side quest when there's a whole lot of adventure to go through.
No, we're not leaving. I'm going to get him that medicine.
What? After a few turns of various trials and tribulations for Sinclair, the Kajan Keep's son, who fortunately was able to recover, hears your story and hesitantly shares what he knows. You realize that he's talking about the fairy Yao Gai, guardian of the Dian Ya sword. He explains that the fairy Yao Guai's power grows under bright moonlight. Hold on, isn't it full moon right now? Then we should wait until the sky is overcast. Hearing that, the innkeep's son takes a quick look at the clouds, then tells you that it might be raining in about a week. Glad we helped him out.
You're okay. Let's make sure we're prepared before we go.
Чё-то пытался найти именно по фамилии, но вспомнить точно не могу. Но это еще напомню прикол а-ля Джун или Зун или что-то типа такого стиля. Да, проблема в основном именно вот в этих звуках. Чи, ти, ти, си, ти, чи, су, су, like, си, ши, еще тоже проблемные. Например, вот вообще слово суши, да, оно как бы может быть аллитерировано на русский язык как суси, так и суши. И вот нет единства все равно здесь. Суси, суши. Должно быть как-то посередине.
You're gonna have to roll 15 or higher to hit.
I know, I'm focused. Hey, I rolled a 16.
The final singular strike from Jia Shichun, the fair Yao Guai finally falls to the ground, defeated.
Yes!
This Tianya sword is ours.
Excited, the party runs up to the sword embedded deep into the earth and grabs enthusiastically upon the hilt. Я уверен, что не стали адаптировать так ими за созвучности со Соси. Есть такое, но опять же, как будто бы в японском языке мало других слов. Например, дойоби. Чё, типа, тут как бы не стали адаптировать, а суси стали? Ну, не знаю. Типа тоже дойоби какие-то.
With this, we can...
However, the defeated fairy Yao Gai, whom the party assumed was dead, suddenly jumps to its feet and lunges at Jia Shichun, who just pulled the sword from the ground.
No! I quickly get between Shichun and the monster.
But if that crits, it's going to be pretty deadly even for you.
Let's see if he can make it the evasion save. One and another one. Nope, that's a critical fail.
It's okay.
Sinclair falls to the ground, bleeding profusely from the gaping wound. The Yao Guai lies still as well, the final vestiges of its strength completely spent. Синема, шинима. Синий, шини. Вообще, в общем, да, по-разному можно.
Sinclair!
Go on without me. Take that sword and go down to the village. Become the leader they need. That sword is your proof.
No, the sword wouldn't mean anything without my adventuring buddy. I'm going to bandage Sinclair up and carry him back. I won't leave him behind and descend the mountain all on my own.
Wait, if that's your choice, then, yeah, the bleeding stops as soon as you wrap him up. He's just that sturdy, you know? That strike would have killed pretty much anyone, but you know how healthy he is.
On your feet, Sinclair. We're getting out of here together. Grab onto my shoulder. That's it, step by step.
Стоять и там ДНД гоняет. Слушай, ну тут, короче, долго объяснять, да. Но вот эта девочка, да, она типа, она тут правитель как бы. Вот, она новый правитель. Ее только что посадили на трон. И вокруг нее короче, тут есть советники, совет советников, совет директоров. И они такие, типа, да ты тупая, ничего не умеешь. И у нас, короче, есть месяц, чтобы научить ее всему, что мы знаем сами. И вот, короче, Ишмаэль такая, давайте играть в ДНД. Это отличный урок. Ну, тут, короче, конечно, уже были, типа, уроки разные. Типа, там, Дон Кихот рассказывала, по сути, сказки про супергероя.
Hey, Shichun, look over there. Everyone who helped and saved on our journeys come out to welcome us home.
You're right. If it weren't for you, Sinclair, I never would have stopped and talked to every single villager there to hear their troubles.
Тупая, ничего не умеешь. Не, я видел сначала партию в ДНД. Ну так, типа, партия ДНД тоже урок.
The sword was only a symbol all along. All of our efforts and the experiences we gained in our journey for the sword were what taught me how to be a good leader, not the sword itself.
You're right. The real success of this adventure was everyone's efforts along the way.
Буквально мем.
I feel like the game overtook the class at some point along the way. Now I know enough about urban trench warfare to give an explanation of my own. My war tales. Time certainly flies when hearing the tales of exciting adventures. После партии ты либо поймешь, что Dungeon Master гадал, либо то, что игроки аутисты. А типа других исходов нет? Просто нормальной партии в ДНД не бывает? Ну, не знаю. Не, я не согласен. О! Окей, я могу теперь сам. I can play the game! Okay. Morale is good. So we don't have to pick her. 616. I really think we need to focus on young. I mean, something like this would just be good. Pretty balanced. Worked with Sinclair to come up with creative solutions to all kinds of trials we faced. Nice. Играл с очень хорошим мастером, который умел красиво рассказывать, создать интересные приключения. Да, ну, опять же, я уже играю в ролевке сам, в реале, много лет. И... Ну, реально, это очень крутой экспириенс. С хорошим мастером обязательно очень здорово. Я и сам мастер, и у других играю. Мне очень нравится. Очень крутое хобби. Очень сильно развивает. Я, кстати, между прочим, из-за этого хобби работу нашел. В курсе вообще, как бы, да? Я вот, когда подавал резюме в компанию, где я сейчас работаю, я еще включил дополнительные тексты, которые для ролевок писал. И мне сказали, типа, чел, мы тут почитали твои тексты и хотим с тобой еще интервью сделать. И я такой, нифига себе. Хорошо пишешь, типа. Так что вот так. Любой скилл пригождается. Любой. Совершенно любой. Все впихивайте в резюме. Вот. А так, ну, опять же, да, мне и самому тоже говорят, что вроде... Игроки говорят, что я хороший мастер. Это хорошо. Меня радует. Всегда приятно, когда хвалят. Okay. We have Judgment Containment class, the new one, plus morale. So we don't need to care about morale. Если я приложу свои фанфики в резюме, меня обсмеют. Но вот нельзя вот этого бояться, понимаешь? Типа, это все равно ты, это все равно часть тебя. Типа, от этого не скрыться. Okay, I don't think I need more G. Is it a rare Ren angle? Definitely a young angle here as well. Maybe something like this. Let's do this.
In regards to every activity, involvement of an unnecessary emotions and personal judgment is to be wasteful.
I'm gonna need you to elaborate on that.
Then I will share an excerpt from Sinclair's exchange with the manager 32 days ago. Begin quote.
Huh? 32 days ago? What? Excuse me, Dante. I'm sorry to have to ask you this, but most of us are fatally wounded. So, can you please turn the clock just one more time?
Limbus же был симулятором свиданий, кстати? Нет, еще не был. Пока что только симулятор школы. До свиданий, я думаю, еще дойдет когда-нибудь.
End quote. Unnecessary interjections weighed down on your request.
Wow, that's pretty bad.
Did I really stutter that badly?
It is a waste of time to involve emotions when delivering unfavorable news. The same message could have been delivered with merely 2 words. We failed. Let us commence field practice. Do not ask me a single question for the next 5 minutes.
Huh? Well, okay, sure, seems easy enough.
Suddenly, Merceau let out a cry as he clutched his chest and fell to the floor.
Are you okay?
Merceau, you okay? His eyes snapped open.
Task failed. 5 minutes have not passed.
Гигачад, люблю Мерсо. Ну все, значит, ждем, как Данте будут сводить с грешниками. Да, факт.
You're cheating. This reminds me of the incident Sinclair had so desperately wished to hide.
What? The what who wished to what?
Despite your belief that no one would ever find out your secret, there was one person who got to the bottom of The incident.
Come on, just what did you see?
Failed again.
Get wrecked. I had a so-so time with the class. Oh. Damn. But at least morale went up. Learned the inner self passive. Okay. So, day 10. Ren doing pretty good. These two, not so good. Morale is also decent, so I don't think I need to do morale anymore. I think just like this is probably best. Ooh, plus 37. That's like super good combo. Combo. Okay, we have very little morale. Intelligence acquisition. Corner your enemy. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to include Otis in every single one to raise G and Yong. And also I need more morale, so we'll do that. I don't really think we need his lesson, to be fair. We need more Yong and more G. Yong Ren. I guess we're gonna have to do this then. Or more of her. Let's do her.
Attention! Today's lesson will cover intelligence acquisition. In other words, men, you will learn how to gain information from people. Hey, I'm pretty good at that. You just have to turn them to your side. By being generous with my spending, by setting a good example as a superior, they'll eventually open up. Eh? That is among the worst strategies I've ever had the displeasure of hearing. Do you not see how wasteful it is to spend a limited military budget? How wasteful it is to spend so much precious time trying to butter them over? The most efficient means of obtaining intelligence is torture.
The torture?
Huh? I'd say that's the worst strategy I've ever had the displeasure of hearing.
I'd rather not waste my clan strength on something so utterly useless like that.
Besides, if you end up accidentally killing them... Foolishness, foolishness.
Jeez, can you stop saying that word?
How simplistic and disappointing. Your imagination falls short, if that's all you can think of when you hear the word torture. Then this unit...
This isn't exactly a military unit.
Then this Hong Yuan may indeed be beyond your ability to lead.
Ooh, well, I'm waiting. Get on with your lesson. The mention of Hong Yuan seemed to put Shichun in a thoughtful mood as she stopped arguing and began focusing on class. Тут солдат голос солдата из ТФ-2. Слушай, я попробую сейчас.
The most effective method of torture isn't physical. Things like waterboarding, electrocution are all inferior. Today you will learn the torture of language. With this method you will always find the answer you want.
I can do it. Я не могу голос солдата сделать. У него как-то он натурально рычит. А я так не смогу сделать. Придется оставить ей голос этого... Facts and Logic чела. Как его зовут-то? Забыл уже.
Use speechcraft to entrap their minds, slowly constrict around them, and let them take brief sighs of relief every time they give you an answer. That, cadets, is what you will be learning today. To your positions, cadets.
20 morale restored. So she restores a lot of morale. With only a few words, I managed to convince the target to spill all the beans.
Вы сожрали, по крайней мере, с этой стороны.
Да-да-да-да-да. Okay, so... Oh, mandatory. This is midterms. Well, I hope I'm ready.
So, I hear you've defeated Qi Huazhen. You would do best not to let that get to your head. He's always been our family's greatest shame.
Hey, watch yourself. Haven't you learned not to underestimate the family underdogs?
What?
Oh, you don't know? You see, I managed to talk Shi Huazhen into, you know.
What? No, it can't be. He cannot have spilled the beans on my parents.
My men are already on their way.
Вся эта тема, например, тренировки по кунг-фу панды, только пельменей нет. Да, пельменей нет. И, пожалуй, по все-таки чуть-чуть милее, чем Джаси Чун, хотя она все равно милашка.
But how did you know it was Block 32? I barely managed to get them a hiding spot there.
Oh, so it's Block 32.
Did you just...
I did. That was way easier than it was during class.
I've heard stories about how you've changed. I didn't know you had changed into such a heartless woman. Say something, damn it. Don't just stand there completely expressionless and... Oh, I see. You won't be shaken by silly little things like this, is that it? That may befit the seat of the hierarch. However, a leader who responds with silence to their inferiors, a leader who considers them only disposable tools, is bound to rot. Fuck you. Я не буду это читать. She refused to let someone so unqualified such as yourself retain power.
Все равно его сейчас отпиздим. Ну, то есть, она его отпиздит. Шишизик. Во, правильно. Шишизик. А вот это вот, типа, результат тренировок. Вот мы, типа, тренируем девочку, а вот она, типа, дерется так. Oh, she had like a thing there. New агрессив юродивый против Шишизик. Не, это Джаши Чун, лучшая девочка Хонг Юана. Crimson Spring Second Form. О, у нее типа скиллы проапгрейдились. Ashen. Скиллы апаются, прикольно. The Inner Cell. Bursting Strike. Ba Jiao Banana Bolus. Banana Bolus? Jingang Bolus. Нет скилла, при котором она бьет по яйцам, не канон. Ну вот она хорошая девочка, она не бьет по яйцам, а просто пиздит. Shito. Did I just lose? No, she lost. Holy shit! Defeat. И мне что, теперь все заново проходить? А, нет, только бой. Ну, окей. Это был очень неожиданный ход. Фак. Яро угорал, когда в какой-то китайской новелле при сражении на арене девах дал решенный удар оппонента по яйцам. Лел. Just got unlucky. Just got unlucky, chat. We'll do it. We'll do it. We just got unlucky.
조금씩 아픔. 다른 누구도 아닌 나 자신을 들여다봐야 해.
Чел настолько хорошо даже лежа сохраняет позу. Есть такое, он крутой. Шишитик. Не так плохо, как могло показаться изначально. Каунтер. Давай, девочка, кончай его уже. Он заколебал. Yeah, we won. Awesome. See? Just got unlucky. No problem. Damn it. I was so close. Did you ever really take the time to think about what might happen if Big Sister Yuan Chun actually gained control of Hong Yuan? Sure, it's gonna be all buddy-buddy at first. She's going to acknowledge the authority of the board of directors, butter you up, and compensate you for your efforts. But soon you're going to see people from other nests coming in here and taking up administrative positions under the guise of advisors. And it's the small families and clans that are going to suffer first. And when that time comes, I bet you'll be saying the same thing then. I was so close. It's going to be a while before other members of your family are let go. You know this already. They committed treason, thinking they were piggybacking off Big Sister Yuan Chun's forces, when in reality she had already discarded them before it even began. She's made sure that nothing about this treason's going to stick to her.
Mother. Father.
Now, let's think about this carefully. About Jia Yuanchun's vision for Dagwan Yuan. Will it be more H Corp or Q Corp? I see the point you're making. Стрим живой, здорово. Здорово, с возвращением. Ты ж не спишь?
But you've not given us any reason to trust you either. What guarantee do I have that you won't just toss us aside when we're no longer useful?
So how about that hiding place where you put your parents you just accidentally let slip? I'd known their whereabouts for a while, actually. My Heisho had identified their location long ago. But I didn't do anything because there wasn't any evidence that pointed to your parents' involvement.
Is that true?
Just how low is your opinion of the hierarch? Big Sister Yuan Chun made a big show of her own influence at the assembly, but I still have a tight control over the Heisho of the family hierarch.
But I thought you were arresting every member of the Shi family without even questioning them.
What was it again? That leaders must take good care of those who are in the same boat as them? Why would any hierarch go around arresting innocent people of H Corp left and right, unnecessarily making more enemies for themselves? I sure don't plan on doing that. Ну, какой-то странный point, ну ладно.
Oh! Taking care of children! Oh my god! Ryoshu class! Ryoshu!
And she's gonna teach Ren! Taking care of children? I can't wait. Не дождусь, когда женщина, которая я хотел бы, чтобы меня убила, будет рассказывать, как за детьми присматривать. Окей. Begin class. TKTDWK.
Teaching kids to deal with kids.
She says. Я не могу избавиться от шальной мысли, что мужик набил на телетировку за схему уличного фонаря. Fuck. Looks like your manager's not the only one who needs a translator. I would have liked to teach a particularly bloody art class, but that AL black hair discarded my lesson plan. Yeah, no, I don't think your lesson plan would have flown even if Zilu wasn't there, artless or otherwise. In today's class, I'll SYNC if you're a UA.
What?
But I'll SCAN if you're a UC.
I'll snap your neck completely if you're an unruly adult. But I'll soothe, coax, and nurture you if you're an unruly child.
Mummy? Ryoshu Mummy? Mummy Ryoshu?
Did you guys rehearse this or something? Am I getting pranked right now?
No, not at all. Just listen carefully, evaluate the context, and there you have it.
What context? What context was I supposed to evaluate?
Let the art do the talking. MTL, kids.
Oh yeah, there's much to learn. Class is about to begin.
Bring the class material, attendant.
Yes.
Upon the venerable family hierarch's orders, I have brought a child from the Wang family.
Why is Jiren... No, wait. What? You brought a who from a what family upon whose orders?
Too many travel restrictions here, so I board the rich kid's attendant.
You've been bringing her along to get you to places, huh?
No, I mean, just what do you mean you brought that kid on my orders?
Ryoshu snuffed out her cigarette, opened the window to clear out the smoke, dusted off her clothing a few times, and only then brought the child to the elevated platform in front of the class. The kid's kinda trembling and anxious looking.
I extend my greetings to the venerable hierarch.
That kid's scared out of his mind. Memories of childhood are important. They're the experiences that shape your future. Observe and learn. Необычная прическа. Да, это типичный китайский ребенок прическа.
What's up with you acting serious all of a sudden? Though I do agree that childhood memories are important. My memories with Big Brother Bao, you are what... Anyways, moving on. You heard nothing. The point is, I think becoming approachable to kids here might help prevent a lot of potential future conflicts. But you've got your work cut out for you. Children of Daguan Yuan are extremely wary of anyone who is not their immediate family. Even worse, you pretty much tricked that kid here using my name. He must be terrified. And I imagine his parents must have given him a whole lot of warnings too.
I'll give you a demonstration. Behold.
Flawless Class FC.
What the fuck? What the fuck is going on?
Wow, he's really taking a liking to her.
Yeah, he wouldn't stop crying when we tried to get him to calm down.
Besides, how's she even doing that with her hands? Not even masters of martial arts move like that.
Это потому что она мама. Ryosha was practically giving him no time for any of the distractions or even a moment to cry. She was taking care of that kid almost effortlessly. She was employing all kinds of tactics, including but not limited to ventriloquism, Hongju, a traditional Hongyuan toy, fan tricks, sugared fruits, and eventually...
Hey.
Don't pull too hard. The child ended up piggybacking on Ryoshu, the fear he showed earlier gone without a trace.
Never would have imagined Ryosha would be good at this. Neat.
And with the exact same expression as your usual one, Ryosha was gently caressing the child. Well, to be more exact, she was giving him a gentle pat.
But I think I get it. Showering kids with tasty stuff and gifts isn't the best way to go about it. What's important is helping them understand just what kind of person I am.
Yeah, the kid's really on edge for his age. I'd start to make some progress, but whenever he suspected I was lying or something, he'd immediately go back to being on guard.
That's also because he's a Daguan Yuan kid. Kids don't survive this place for long if they're not quick on the uptake. Venerable Hyoak, may I ask you something? Well, asking's free, but I gotta tell you, it's going to depend on what you're about to ask whether I can help you or not. Huh?
Wrong move, rookie hierarch. Why say all that when TWDT, you don't get the immaculacy of succinct abbreviations? Ryosha grabbed the child's shoulders, brought him before Jiashi-chun, then in her usual curtness, spoke precisely 2 words to confuse the child, and that seemed to do the trick. Speak, kid.
It's, my big sis said that when the family hierarch war was over, I can finally play tons with friends. But their parents told them to stay inside because it's too dangerous outside. My cousin says you're the biggest and the baddest of Hoggywan venerable Hioak. So I wanted to ask if you can make Daguan Yuan safe. I want to play with my friends. Gotcha. I'll review your suggestion positively.
She says she'll totally make that happen.
Sometime later, after Jiren guided the child out of the classroom, I found Yashichun whispering something to herself.
You've got a lot on your plate, huh? Dealing with the restructuring days is just one of them.
I was going to improve the safety of this place anyway, whether he asked me to or not.
Badass металлический запил, да. У кого запил? Не понял.
Safe enough for a kid like that to run around the market all on his own. A place where he doesn't have to be afraid to go outside.
Okay, so I can now pick and choose. Bad to the bone mem. No, bad to the bone, я знаю, о чем речь, да. Du-du-du-du-du. Okay. What if I do like this? Just a whole bunch of, just kind of like this, mirror classes. Begin class. So level of knowledge on how to talk to children. Ah, okay. So that didn't go well. All about the poker face. Well, good thing we're gonna get some morale back. Okay, so she's also not gonna get much experience. What if I do this combo? Спать завтра на стойке семьи ебашь в колледж. Давай. Хороших снов.
You know something? Everyone communicates with their eyes even before they talk. So you better pay attention to what their eyes are saying.
Great, that's really great, but I don't know, it just kind of feels like an oddly specific subject to be talking about, especially when we're sitting around a gambling table.
Sinclair, given the time limit, this just happened to be the fastest and clearest method of demonstrating and training your abilities to control your emotions. I swear I had no other ulterior motive. I was practically forced to do this. Oh wait, stop glaring at us like that and join us at the table.
I am only briefly visiting my lady to pick up some paperwork. As there is still much work to be done, I'll be leaving in no time.
Come on, guy, you know this game needs 4 players.
I refuse your invitation. I must say it's ridiculous of you to force my lady to partake in such a base activity. And what audacity to invite me as well.
Aww, so you think you don't have a chance, huh? Wow, and here I thought you'd at least be better than me at this game. Fine, I get it. Don't play a game, you have a snowball's chance in hell of winning. It's a good philosophy, I subscribe to it.
Do you seriously think your shallow, obvious attempts at goading me into playing this game will work?
Huh? What? Sorry, Scrub says what? So Wade joined the table. Alrighty, this lesson is pretty straightforward. You 3 will work together to ensure that I don't win this game. In other words, make sure I'm not number 1 by the end of it.
Well, that seems easy enough.
But be warned, I have this special power to read into your minds without hearing even a word out of your mouth. Let me give you a demonstration. Let's see. Sinclair, I can see the corners of your lips twitching while your eyes are suspiciously wandering over there. You're looking to form a ping, aren't you? Ooh! And Shichun, you? And you want this dong tile I've got. Now I know to never ever discard this tile. How'd you know?
Honestly, it would have been tougher for us to not know.
You can let yourself be anxious, sure, but don't ever, ever let it peek through. The moment someone smells your weakness, they're going to eat you right up. Anyway, you... Using the glint of your glasses to hide your eyes, huh? No, this isn't gonna be easy.
Your greatest mistake tonight was allowing me a seat at this table. I already know the ready hand you've got there.
Oh, you do? Not bad. But you're just as much of an open book, my guy. You just need that one zhong tile, don't ya? Sorry, not sorry. You're not getting that tile, 'cause it's not there.
Gang. I don't understand what's going on. This Chinese game.
I see, you called Gang Melt so you can claim the Zhong, which was the rearmost tile, didn't you?
Heh. Does that by any chance imply that you somehow know the location of every tile in this game?
Nah, no way. I just have the sixth sense for bad vibes.
Very well. Never once did I think I would ever step back into this dark world of shadows, but... Very well, then I'll be setting this hua aside, and...
I'm impressed.
They're way too intense, I can hardly get involved.
Guys, isn't this supposed to be a class for us?
Shh, my lady. The importance of this moment could not be overstated.
I see. Swapped out your ready hand, didn't you?
What do you think?
3 hua tiles in a row, huh? I see you've got some innate luck, too. Very well, then. I'll have to wager it all on this one suit.
Oh, I won! Hoo! That's a Qing Yao Ju hand. Your downfall was written the moment you forced me to discard Zhong.
Oh, darn. I lost that, huh? Well played.
Did you see that, my lady? Hoo! I apologize for that vulgar display, my lady. I will bring some tea.
Wei Victorious stumbles out of the room with his shoulders slumped.
This gives morale, mostly. I think I need to put 1G, then something morale based. Hi, how are you? Welcome, Flowerheart. I'm fine. Just doing this, doing the new content. Doing the new content. Having a fun time reading through all the dialogue. Feel like lesbian Roland? Why? This is it and that is that, but also gay. Ah. Based. Oh. Okay. Some really bad shit happened to a point like I feel like Roland, but then like I kinda come out to my mom. What did she say? I like women. But yeah, what was her reaction? Mandatory class. Okay. Midterm. That's based, yeah. That's based.
I heard from Big Brother you sent your coins to Big Brother Chew.
Every hand, once in circulation, goes round and round until it eventually returns to their original owners.
I also heard that some of the Wang family helped with removing the foreign powers from here. Why?
I only wanted to prevent this place from getting robbed blind. I live here, you know. This is where my wealth lies.
Well then, can I ask for your public support?
Oh, I applaud your audacity in thinking someone who just gave you the moon should be asked for the stars as well. Everyone and their mother knows in whose hands the true political power of Hong Yuan lies right now. With that in mind, let's say that I do announce my public support for you. I'm not going to have a voice to speak with by the time the powers that be are done with me.
Look, if Big Sis Yuan Chun genuinely believes that I'm not fit to be the family hierarch, then I'll happily remove myself from power. But she's affiliated with Q Corp. Do you seriously believe she has Hong Yuan's best interests at heart? With all those conspiracies she's been weaving under the surface, all those business deals and clearly skewed policies?
I do not. But if you're going to present yourself as the alternative, then you have to be someone concrete enough to rely on. Let me just say that about half of the board of directors' votes may as well be considered abstaining votes. They're keeping their silence because they're afraid of Jia Yuanchun's retaliation. So, your remaining task is to convert those silent votes in your favor. Oh, not shaken by that at all, huh? I thought you'd get that lost and wandering look in your eyes.
I guess I'll have to work on my poker face.
No. Most people would have failed to pick that up. You've certainly changed since the evaluation. Your growth shows a lot of promise. Maybe that's why he handed his coins over to you. Well, I guess that's not the only thing he handed over to you, I suppose.
Hong Yuan's tomorrow.
Anyways, I should probably do as I'm told for now, My cousin will be your opponent today.
I won't accept you as my hierarch just yet. Fight me and prove that you're at least better than I am. Only then I'll accept you.
He won't even fight himself, damn. He went well, but, I'm just feeling like rolling from completely unrelated very bad shit. I hope you get to feel better soon, though. That sounds rough. This is this and that is that, though, you know? So far, so good, though. We're actually getting some rupture going off. Okay, yeah, that one. This fight is easy. Imagine having grieving and gay realization at the same day. Ah, damn. Losing someone always sucks. But I mean, gay realization in itself is also not bad. I wouldn't say that's very bad shit in itself, but grieving certainly is.
What? Do you have something to say to my face?
Yeah.
Don't give my little brother your crap. Your little brother?
You know who I'm talking about. Do you have any idea of the mess you left behind when you yoinked that kid away?
That buzzcut kid was her little brother.
Oh, that's a girl! Oops.
You can barely ever even hold onto your seat, which you're about to lose soon anyway, and you have the gall to give him false hope? I know it's all just politics to you, but kids really believe you, you know. I heard from the kid that you seemed relieved upon hearing what I said. Told me you were happy for once to hear that he had a fun time after being barred from playing with his friends with how things are in Hong Yuan.
Shut up.
Besides, it's not all just hot air.
What?
I wasn't making an empty promise when I said I will change Hongyuan to be a place where everyone can live without fear. And for that, I'm going to protect my seat of power, no matter what it takes. You'll fail. Not with you on my side. We all know that what big sister Yuan Chun's Hongyuan looks like. It'll be exactly the same in essence, and it will be the same for the foreseeable future. Tell me, are you sure you're okay with handing over that same burden we've carried all our lives to your little siblings?
No, of course not. Wang Qingshan left in a hurry. Gay is good, it's just a lot. Understandable. Understandable. I hope it ends up well, though. Hope it goes well for you. You go, girl. Fighting's all about morale. Okay. Another mandatory class, huh? We're doing good on morale, though. We're gonna get a lot of Yong today, so I suppose we'll go G. And I guess why don't we follow that up with some... with some Ren too, right? But wait, do I need to level all these guys up? Like, do I have to level up all of the teachers? I don't know. Honestly. We'll just do this. Like, my mom just asked 2 years ago, are you sure you don't ever plan to marry anyone? I mean, you can marry girls. Technically.
Right, lads, listen up. This ain't gonna be like them boring old classes you've been sitting through. You've got to leave the desk behind once in a while to learn some real life lessons, yeah?
2 hours ago. Oh.
Right, so here's the deal. You want to bring the morale before the brawl even begins.
Brawl?
Learn this by heart, and you'll be kicking those twats' asses left, right, and center.
That's not exactly what I'm looking for.
So, Heathcliff, I've got to ask this question. Something about your club seems different today.
Live in Russia? Understandable. However, moving is also a thing. It is possible to move countries. И да, я понимаю. Говорить... Ну... Не знаю. Как будто бы можно просто... Здесь можно просто говорить. Здесь можно просто говорить.
Looks a lot more colorful too.
Bollocks. Lad catches on quick. That way bloke said something about us swinging around a real club might come off as too threatening and confiscated it.
That high-tech weapon cries boop when it hits people.
I see. Oi, don't you underestimate me just because I'm holding a different bludgeon.
Куда денег нет? Так я же не говорю, что завтра надо уезжать. Можно заработать денег сначала, потом уехать. Подготовиться хорошенько, заработать денег и уехать.
Let's get on with it. Straighten your shoulders. Eyes wide open. Let's get cracking.
With that, Heathcliff triumphantly raised his newfound weapon toward the sky. It made a small boop noise. Nice. 20 morale lost. Huge success in class. Okay. Okay, morale is very bad. Very bad morale, very bad. Because we lost a bunch. I think I need to pair... Ot... I need to pair her with Otis. Otis, yes.
Otis.
So 9, 9, 6. I need like a bit more Ren. How about like this? How about this? This is probably good. Pull up Yong as well a bit. No combo though. Well, there's some combo. Good drill sergeant and bad drill sergeant routine. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Lots of morale restored, though. Awesome. POW torture technique passive. Rambling tales from the drunken palm. Who is this guy? And what? Wait, it's that guy. Why is he? What is he doing here? 6, 11. What the fuck is you doing here? Hello? What the fuck? What the Sigma? I guess I should level all of them up. Let's try to then. This class, after an uncharacteristic pause, Zila continued, will be taught by a guest lecturer who's been invited for your tutelage. A guest lecturer? But I wasn't informed of this. Where are they?
I don't know, maybe they're lost?
A little bird told me that the venerable hierarch will gift me a bottle of top-notch cloudy wine straight from Taguan Yuan's brewer. Hooey! There any truth to that, folks?
That guy.
Just stopping by to see if I could leech some liquor at this party. Hong Yuan is an awfully miserly place, but you'd spare a shot of liquor for this poor old drifter, won't you?
Well, you're clearly not just any poor old drifter. Are you guys acquainted?
He ambushed us in a room after the first round of the family hierarch war was over.
You what? The family hierarch war has been over for a while, and everyone in Hongyuan knows who the winner is. How dare a mongrel like you, who only knows how to mooch off other families, set foot in here? Looks like I'm going to have to give my clan a stern talking to. How could they let slip a drunk assassin like...
I see that our youthful hierarch is plenty suspicious. I've been a guest in many places, but please, I am no moocher. Put your worries to rest. I'm only a drunkard who enjoys a cool swig of liquor with scenic landscape as my bar, the sky as my ceiling, and the dirt as my bed.
The man who introduced himself as the Night Drifter of the Drunken Palm leaped down, landing with dexterity that betrayed the rags he wore as clothing and the terrible stench of liquor emanating from him.
Is he seriously? Bad news, Miss Shichan. Apparently Jia Yuan-chun's bestowed upon you a new master. Huh? Big sister Yuan-chun? She also wanted us to deliver the message that she was sending a master because, and I quote, I feel a deep sense of trepidation and pity for my dearest little sister, the neophyte hierarch, who must be struggling left and right without a proper master. Wow, I am beside myself with gratitude. So that's the supposed teacher, this mysterious guy with the mysterious legions who might stab us in the back at any time?
As you said, the family hierarch war is over, and even the mongrels of Hongyuan know who has the legitimacy here. The incident during the contest was nothing more than business, a job to take care of in return for what compensation they gave me. I hope you don't carry that grudge in your heart. Sure, you didn't harm your rivals in the family hierarch war after personal vendetta, did you? Sometimes business is just business. I killed young Master Bao Yu, for they promised to pay off my bar tab, and I'm here to give the hierarch a lesson, for they promised to pay off my future tabs. There's nothing to be gained by taking your anger out on a gig worker living hand-to-mouth like myself, don't you think?
I advise that the optics and the consequences of rejecting a master sent to us by Jia Yuan-chun herself is not going to look too good.
Hi, Works.
I know, and it's only gonna make me look worse, and I'd rather not give Big Sister Yuan-chun more ammunition to take me down.
Привет. Да, привет, Works.
And you there will have eyes tracking your every move, so don't do anything that might rouse unnecessary suspicion.
Hooey! Ain't that a threat? I can hardly taste the wine before such hostility.
Despite Sword's dead serious warning, the Night Drifter's response was only a hearty chortle.
Before I begin the lesson, I'd like to get an idea of where my to-be pupils are. Now, give me a demonstration, if you will. Swing away. That's enough.
But I was just getting started.
Your form is flawed, and your breathing is hollow. Need I see more? Flawed forms often fight flawed hearts. In other words, your martial arts prowess is amateurish.
What the heck? Is this guy serious? I've never had a single master who had anything bad to say about my form.
Your arms are straight, and the legs supporting your stance are solid and sturdy. Indeed, most masters would not bother themselves to find fault there. But let me pose this question. Are you, my venerable pupil, satisfied with martial arts that are made to dispatch unskilled peasants and no more?
Huh?
There is more to this than raw strength. Now take a swing at me instead.
Alright, you asked for it.
Yashichun takes a powerful swing at the Night Drifter.
Your mind outpaces your body. Your intent...
Oh, I didn't read it.
Your mind outpaces your body, your intent more transparent than a glass globe, and your edge is dull, for it has very little heart for feints.
But he deftly weaves his way between her strikes, which fail to even touch the tip of his ragged cloak.
You are far too eager to strike, focused singularly on your opponent, with force distributed unevenly across your body. So you will fail to cut, and gain a little hole as comeuppance.
Then the Night Drifter pokes Jiashichun's back with a twig. Everyone vying for the seat of the family hierarch has to go through it eventually. The first kill. Some say the earlier the better. Mine was when I was 13. Not too early, not too late. Just right. It's already been a few years since my foolish brother has locked himself in his chamber. Last I heard, he was bedridden for a week after ingesting some poison someone had sent to prank him. I'm not going to live like that dumbass.
Try to relax your body, won't you? You have a weapon, yes, but one mustn't singularly focus on the opponent. Do try to reflect upon yourself and relax. Let the unnecessary strength go. Let it flow out of your body. Tensing up as you do will naturally shrink your mind and narrow your vision.
Hey, wait, should I send Big Bro a silver spoon or something? It wasn't that bad this time, but what if they give him a way worse poison next time?
You know young Master Bao Yu won't accept your gift, my lady. I doubt he's even seeking the culprit now.
So stupid. Zero interest in anything practical, zero ambition. What a silly, pathetic attitude to have just now. Just how...
But, my lady, it wasn't practicality that guided you when you chose to save my life over maintaining your control over the Wu branch. Some seek the state of anatta, the non-self, but what they seek is the path of asura, reserved for the likes of blade fiends. You must learn to let go of everything except for the self.
What kind of life is it to live without stepping over others?
Let it all go. The gazes, the pressures, all of it. Instead, face yourself, and only yourself.
And feel how light...
it all becomes.
After some thought, Shichun's form visibly relaxes. It wasn't just for her form that relaxed. Her pursed lips seemed to have found peace as well.
She's got it. Well, then what should we do about you, my overconfident, proud pupil? Will you maintain your grave and cocky silence? I wasn't being cocky. If my memories haven't failed me yet, you were one of young Master Jiabaoyu's underlings, correct?
Underling? Yeah, however you want to call it, I guess.
Sinclair replied with a resigned sigh.
Just why do you think it was that you, specifically you, among his 12 underlings, were chosen to take this class alongside the young hierarch?
Sinclair momentarily flashed a flustered expression, taken off guard by the stranger's sudden, pointed question, but he soon regained his composure and replied.
Oh, well, who else beside me would ever go along with these lesson plans? Don Quixote's going to ditch the classes out of boredom. Same goes for Rodia, and Otis will try to take over the classes, not to mention what it'd be to like to have Heathcliff here, and...
Such a loquacious list of excuses. Struck a nerve, did I? How come you know so little about yourself? Even less than what I have already learned about you.
Chat with Deishralis? Что значит Deishralis?
What are you talking about?
A bird that has failed to break its shell in time will rot within its confines.
I still don't understand what you're talking about.
Even as he said so, Sinclair's expression seemed more like anxiety than confusion to me.
Prepare yourself to flit away before the rain. You won't get another chance should you miss the opportunity.
Weagle. Then the Night Drifter giggled flippantly, the suddenly serious attitude nowhere to be seen.
Been a while since I let myself babble on for this long. I suppose I can credit my foolish pupils for that. Prepare to swing away.
The bro's just drinking. Nice. Enemy of yesterday, friend of today. Okay, combo. Nice, nice. 17, 17, 17. Oh, okay. He's actually kind of strong. Ah, okay. Is already master too. Yeah, he trains every stat. Did I find out all the combos? No, I found like half of the combos. Morale is okay. This will restore way too much morale. What are the combos I have with Otis? Gregor Otis is a combo. Ishmael Otis is a combo. Is Ishmael Gregor a combo? No. Let's try comboing Otis, Gregor, Honglu. No, Otis, Gregor, Ryoshu. Let's try Otis, Gregor, Ryoshu combo. Morale restored. Yes, yes. Hotboxed. 40 morale restored. Okay. And Sinclair gains Ren, extra Ren. So they're now equal. How to prepare for war passive acquired. Okay, so he's mastered. I need to level up more people then. I guess we can do these two and her. 50% stats for Sinclair. Take act. So Sinclair gets buffer. Baffo. Huge success in next class. Here to fixes and reassuring heart. Okay, we're stacking passives, chat. Stacking passives. Damn, am I glad I got my head screwed back on. It's a precious sight to watch everyone all freaking out about this child's play. All the missed news I've been hearing since I opened my eyes in the recovery room sound very enticing. I really wish I was there to watch it all. Half the family heads getting arrested for treason? The seat of the family hierarch going to some inexperienced kid from the Gia family? Not to mention how my lovely little sister had her engagement called off. And how she's now been branded as a traitor to her own blood. All the entertainment in the world seems to have happened during my little nap, don't you think?
You didn't even show your face at the regular assembly, so I doubt you have any concern for the future of Hong Yuan. So just what are you doing here? I just thought I'd have some fun.
Based. Based. This guy's based.
중요한 건 내가 어떤 사람인지 알게 하는 거. 좋아, 구조는 파악했어. 그 해결사의 역경에 비하면
Bam, 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 bam.
공황이 날개처럼.
Faust passive with the exploded face. That's funny. Oh. Oh, wait. Her stagger threshold is now, like, way down. Nice.
지도자라면 동료를 포기하지 않아.
That's cool. That's cool. I guess she won. Poker face. Why stop now? Decapitate me like my last death, or stab me in the heart, cut my limbs to ribbons.
Listen, this duel's just a spar, okay? We don't have to kill each other for this to end.
Now isn't this frustrating? You have the opportunity of a lifetime before your eyes and you're too weak to use it. You have everyone who fights you on every step of your way coming to you, practically presenting their heads on a silver platter, and you're just gonna let them slink away with these scratches?
Get your act together. Family Hierarch War is over, and I'm not going to kill someone just because they're being a bit uncooperative.
Get real! Do you have any idea how long it will take for you to gain even a morsel of power by playing this fool's game? Hey, want to hear a little tip on how you can firmly establish your position as the family hierarch? Kill me in the most horrible, painful, hideous way you can imagine. And hang my corpse by the entrance of that assembly hall over there. Use me to send a clear message. And station every single one of your hair show packs between every pillar at the assembly hall, and if anyone dares to speak out against you, snip! Chop off their head before they can get another word out. 5 days. It will only take 5 days before everyone starts eating out of your hand. And that's how you establish yourself as the hierarch. Fear is power.
No, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm here to make Hong Yuan a place where its people can live without fear. I thought you, of all people, might understand. I remember how you used to hate hurting people, more so than anyone else. Man, what a boring answer. That was duller than even my dullest expectations. It'll only take a few years until you break, until you become just like them. Just like the family hierarchs of the past, who couldn't help but ruthlessly weed out any seeds of resistance. Just how many people here do you think still have any grip on their sanity? Maybe I'm only a few years away of becoming an idiot, shuffling aimlessly around the Guan Yuan. I can only hope that I won't be a slobbering mess by the time that happens. If something entertaining's gonna happen, I can only hope that it happens while I'm still sane. Zhue Pan sauntered away, but Jia Shichun found it difficult to move on. Excellent work, my lady. You've passed the 4th exam with flying colors. You've certainly crushed them for underestimating you. I am... My lady? Jia Shichun seemed deeply engrossed in thought. Awful morale. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Wait. Mandatory class. So wait, she's gonna sleep now? I don't know what's gonna happen.
My lady seems to be in a particular mood today.
It's all useless, isn't it?
She should.
When these classes end and you guys all leave, I guess I'll be spending my days worried to death that an assassin could pop out of nowhere and kill me at any moment. Consumed by so much paranoia and worry that I'll start twitching at shadows cast from lamplights. So would it mean anything for me to, prove to them that I deserve to be the family hierarch? I've spent my whole life trying to prove to everyone that I have the will and determination to become the family hierarch. And now I have to prove to everyone that I deserve to keep it? To those bastards whose only thought in their empty heads is how they can expand their rooms?
Mr. Wei, have you ever heard of playing hooky before?
Playing hooky? Is it a euphemism for eliminating your enemies?
Well, I've rarely done it back when I was in school, but when there's too much going on in your head, you just skip school and go out to play.
Oh no. I've only done it once myself, after a friend talked me into it. I agree, it seems that the time for my lady to clear her head has come. Very well, let us play. Just one hooky.
What are you guys doing? Come on, let's get moving. I gotta prove myself, don't I? I gotta have those bastards' approval, don't I?
He's in a really bad mood today, huh?
My lady, have you visited the backyard by the Lushui Hermitage as of late?
No, but I know what happened there. They threw in a few dead bodies from the massacre a decade ago, turned the pond foul, and decided to bury the whole thing.
Indeed they did. The stench was so overwhelming and toxic that corpses of animals and plants could be seen floating on its surface, eventually turning the pond into a festering black bog. People passing by had to plug their noses or risk passing out.
So why even bring up something awful like that?
It seems that a tree had taken root there, my lady, amidst all that rot. A willow. The willow tree reached deep into the pond with its roots, clearing it of the foul grease, cleansing the water. And one day we found it clear and glittering, thriving with other aquatic plants growing within. It's recovered from the rot, becoming a normal clear pond surrounded by leaves and moss. Some months ago they introduced a few carps in there, and when they checked again they were just as vivacious as they were on their first day there. Would you like to pay the pond a visit if it is alright with you?
Jichun didn't seem to quite buy his explanation, but she followed him anyway.
You weren't kidding! I avoided this place for so long.
Fan service thighs. Fan service legs alert.
I never thought it could be this clean again.
I can hardly believe that this pond used to be a rotten bog. All that happened was this tree happened to take root here.
What matters, my lady, is patience and determination. Of course, this place had slipped my mind then, as I was quite swamped with work, but the world has a stronger capacity to heal itself than one might imagine. Recovery will follow, as long as there is a steady root to rally around.
After a long break that seems to freshen even our hearts.
Nice, you're making good progress. Your form, the light in your eyes, I think you've certainly improved in all aspects. I dare say you've had some change of heart, too. Yeah, I do feel a tad more comfortable than I did before.
Okay, I thought that it would happen. She recovered all her morale. So I didn't need... Took the class. So I didn't even need to pop Merso in there. There was a combo that makes her sad, wasn't there? With him. No. Onlu doesn't have a lot of combos, does he? Yeah, no, he really doesn't. There. I can do this combo. So Heathcliff. Oh, we have to go with Heathcliff. Okay, that's perfect then. Heathcliff, Um. And then let's go with Merceau and round that up with some nice Honglu. No, wait, not Honglu. I need Faust. Faust. Faust Heathcliff, right? It was Faust Heathcliff. Yeah, Faust Heathcliff. Okay, begin class. So she should lose a lot of morale on Heathcliff's class.
Right, class. Here's a new task to help you learn how to break your enemy's morale. The moment you shrink in front of your enemies, you've already lost, so don't. It don't matter how many there are, how threatening they look, yeah? Take me, for example. Have I ever turned tail and fled like some milksop, no matter what enemy we're put against?
I don't think you ever have.
Leave it to the nerds to waste time coming up with strategies and what have you. Listen, there ain't a problem in the world you can't solve by boldly rushing in head first.
Ishmael and Otis would have boldly rushed in head first to shake him by his labels if they'd been here.
Here's what I think. Neither of you got enough pluck. That's why neither of you could say shite against those buggers back at the assembly hall, am I right?
Yashichun maintained her silence, the old scar in her pride growing sore again.
Still, let me help you let you lot grow some backbone. Try getting mad at me. No need to shrink, lad. Stab proud.
Well, okay, but how could I...
Don't worry about offending me, yeah? Can take it. Unlike you two, I've built enough thick skin for all kinds of insults thanks to my years in the back streets. I'm bloody invincible.
Yeah, well, shut up, Heathcliff.
Good lad.
You're hardly even a teacher, man. This class sucks. All you're doing is up there standing around and trying to look cool.
Ooh, that one's gonna sting a little.
That's it, you little shite. Is what I would have said back in the day, and I probably would have struck you with this hammer, my club. But I've changed too. And so did you. I can see that the fire in your eyes has grown. Remember this feeling, yeah?
I will.
Now let's practice. It looks like both of you have the perfect sparring partner in each other. Grab your weapons to both of you.
Oh, you mean us? Me and Shichun?
I grew my backbone by getting the fisticuffs with the boys during my backstreet days. They break my arm, I break their legs in return, see what I mean?
Is that what besties is supposed to mean? Yashijin asked with considerable confusion.
Well, let's do this, I guess.
You don't want me to go easy on you, don't you?
I don't. Yeah.
Oh, they're actually gonna fight each other.
건 내가 어떤 사람인지 알게. 좋아, 굳은 파악했어. 봉황이 날개처럼.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I think Sinclair's fucked. Thrashing to hatch. Dun, 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 dun. Growth. Too bad I beat your ulti with my ulti. Nerd.
꽃처럼 화려한 너. 바람처럼 가볍지만 벌처럼 날카롭게.
Holy shit! That's a lot of damage.
Alright, that's good enough. Bloody hell, lad, that was much closer than I thought.
Good match.
Geez, don't most people usually lose steam the longer a fight gets? What the heck was that at the end? The two of them clashed with everything they learned, and with all they learned up until the lessons began. But I'm confused. Is it South Korea or China? I think it's a mixture of both cultures, to be honest. Perhaps thanks to the night drift's teaching, or thanks to that mark on his forehead. I saw a glimpse of Sinclair I'd only seen in the select few mirror worlds. You alright, Sinclair?
Oh yeah, it's not like we're going at it with real weapons. And the fight ended before I got any further, thankfully, so I'm not hurt or anything. I'm feeling a bit of a fever on my forehead, though.
It didn't seem like Sinclair noticed the single yet clear red line that appeared on his forehead. Felt like anything bad happened when that mark manifested back in La Mancha Land, but considering that Damian and Rim were the only other people who'd ever shown that mark, I couldn't help but worry a little. Hey, you ever run away from home before?
Where's this coming from?
Going by the way you're acting, it's clear to me that you're a homebody, but there's something behind your eyes that tells me your life hasn't all been sunshine and rainbows.
I wouldn't call it running away from home. More like I left home. Because I didn't have a choice.
How did that feel?
Like I was melting away into nothing. I suddenly had to face the whole terrible world on my own. And it was so overwhelming that, well, I'm sure I can't quite commiserate. You've been on top of your game your whole life, after all.
I did leave Daguyan Yuan by my own volition, but if I'm being honest, and here's something I never told Wei, I feel unutterably lost. There was so much that I had to do, so much responsibility. I guess neither of us were that ready for the world when we left home. I feel just as lost back home, though.
Oh, and there's Heathcliff too. He also left home. Some time ago we paid a visit to the manor he grew up in. Heading home must have been pretty exciting for him. You have no idea how much of the journey back he spent gussying up and primping his hair.
Something just came up. Class dismissed.
Damn. Bro got shy. Huge success. Let's go. The class. Whoa. That's a lot of skills she just learned. Okay, I have like 3 more days left. Select the class for this time slot. I guess we can go this, and then round it out with her to get the Yong and morale back up. Oh, they have a combo. Didn't know that. Huge success in class. Okay, good. Bestie and Arrival. Alright, so he's master. I guess I kind of just have to combo these now. Oh. I have to go with this guy. Yeah, then just go with these two. Well... maybe I want to torture them a little bit more. Let's go with her. Focus on Ren. Nice, plus 25 to everything.
It's only been a few days since your training began, yet...
My other martial arts masters would teach me their secret techniques.
So that's what you got. What got you two pouting all lesson?
What?
Hooey! Now that's some good wine. Very well, I'm in the mood. Let me teach you a useful trick.
Really?
Tell me, what did I teach you to do as you swung your sticks?
Forget all those things that put pressure on me and face nothing but myself and my movements.
And that's only the start of it. First, emptiness of sound. Slight friction from the tips of your toes, the ruffle of your clothes, your breaths. Erase them all. Erase every ripple and echo you leave upon this world.
Night Drifter stands before us, but his presence becomes as hazy as mist. Despite the wild movements, we hear nothing.
Second, emptiness of form. To have a form is to provide your foes with clues to predict your next move. Forget the weapons in your hands. Forget your structured forms. Break the mold. Become the flow. Let only your will remain.
Randomness seeps into his movements until all semblance of pattern becomes lost. There was somewhat clownish about Something clownish about his unpredictable movements, but they were also so hypnotic and floaty that Joshi-chun and Sinclair couldn't look away.
Last emptiness of mind. Try not to force the direction of your heart. Empty your desires and intentions both. Stab without thinking. Penetrate without gazing.
Both Joshi-chun and Sinclair's necks were marked by small imprints of the twig that pressed their skin. And Zilu, who has been standing next to me all along, had leaped a small distance away, seemingly deep in thought. And my neck hurts too. Guess I wasn't spared from the lesson. I wonder if this fits that saying Yi Sang utters from time to time, to lose one's nose with eyes open.
Immerse yourselves. Make sure your descent is slow and gradual. We've been focusing entirely on the self with your swings thus far, so you should find it quite easy to reach the state of emptiness of mind. Didn't I just say that one must take it slowly and gradually to empty your mind already? I'd have thought you my everything had you entered under my tutelage long ago.
Am I doing this right? No, wait, I need to relax more.
So our new hierarch has found herself the clue to the emptiness of form.
What technique is this?
It's all just movements at the end of the day. I find it entirely unnecessary to give them those flashy names. A truly secret technique should come without one.
Well, it's still supposed to be our ultimate move, right? Wouldn't it be more official to give it a name?
Well, in that case, ooh-wee. That's some good wine indeed. Guess I'll go with something like Plastered Sleep, Unrestrained Ripples.
That name sucks. The class comes to an end with an ultimate move that was probably named in haste. Zilu, who had been observing the class from a distance, approaches the Night Drifter. Been a while since I saw someone give a lesson like this, starting from its very fundamentals.
Hardly can one find a pupil willing to slowly learn from the very fundamentals in a world of infinite technological advancements like the Veil. I'm only fortunate enough to have found two pupils who are indeed willing.
Your gait, your tone. Were you among the 10 blades of the East?
Now, it seems entirely unnecessary for you to dig, as I don't quite recall putting anything on your tab. Put your futile questions to rest, for I have no answers to give. The past is like smoke. I've long emptied any history worth delving into.
Nice. Omniscient Artist's Viewpoint. Enemy Yesterday, printed today. Okay. Joshi-chun gets a lot from that. And Sinclair got a lot from that one. Alright. Let's do like this and round it all out with this guy. Rattling tales from the drunken bomb. Well, I'm supposed to teach this class, but honestly, I'm not entirely sure what to do here. It's not like I can suddenly teach you guys to hear the fathoms of other people's hearts.
Yeah, it's not like I can suddenly have a heart-to-heart out of nowhere, right?
And that is precisely why I have installed this box called Messages from the Hearts by the door here when the lessons first began. Messages from the Hearts? The greatest strength of Messages from the Hearts is its anonymity. Here people can anonymously share the concerns that have been eating away at them without the fear of judgment.
Yeah, this seems like a great idea. I can see how everyone can be more honest about their feelings behind the masks of anonymity.
The box is quite heavy. It seems that everyone's been making quite deliberate use of this. Let's see. The one at the bottom has to be the first message. Let's see what it says.
Oh, I've got to ask, do those consultations even do anything?
Does this mask of anonymity even do anything?
Also, what's the point of these messages anyway? If you got to whinge at their face. Well, I ain't got much else to say, so I've got one. My neighbor next door keeps making weird noises at night, so do something about that, yeah? Something about smoking head over and over again. The point is, it's been getting on my nerves. If that doesn't get taken care of in a week, I'll deal with it my own way.
Deal with it how? It's all just personal grievances.
Let's see what the next one says.
Who dares harrow the executive manager with such useless, weak-minded complaints? If you're going to continue wasting the executive manager's precious time and cause them trouble, I will personally hold you responsible for that blunder. You best prepare yourself for consequences.
Wow, it's like she's right here, speaking right into my ear.
Never thought written words could cause hearing damage. Moving on. I don't know if it's just me, but someone's probably been spying on these papers, huh? I've got proof, too. I folded this piece of paper back into a padlock knot shape, but whoever spied on it did a pretty bad job of replicating it. Oh, and another thing, my compass disappeared. It's the compass I got for surviving the hellish depths of the Belmore trenches. We're going to have to re-establish some house rules soon. Theft report? Did one of you steal her compass or something?
No way. We'd never steal from each other, no matter how hard things get.
Something troubles me.
Ooh, finally. Someone finally submitted a real concern here.
Was it the Type A wire that caused the explosion, or was it caused by replacing the clamp part on the shattering gear? Ah, the likely answer has been found. Do not concern yourselves with this message. Well, that's that, I guess. Look, I felt like I should really share this with everyone. This one might be something serious for once. I can't just let this slip away like nothing happened, you know? Yeah, I'm talking about the incident that happened aboard Mephi some time ago. Remember how someone smashed an alarm clock against Dante's head while they were sleeping? No one ended up figuring out what happened there, right? You're going to have to bring me up to speed on this.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what it was, but there was a loud shattering noise outside at night, so we'll run out to see what happened. But no one managed to find any credible clues, so I guess we just let it slide?
Anywho, Dante said they were A-okay, so we just moved on from it, but I'm telling ya, I saw what I saw. I saw Greg's bug arm. So here's my guess. What if he happened to lose his balance while carrying that alarm clock with one hand? You know what I mean? I'm trusting the anonymity thingy on this.
Gregor, he wouldn't. The alarm clock, broken due to shock at the time of the incident, was pointing precisely at 22:32. And at that hour, only 2 individuals were awake for the night watch duty.
Guys, this is turning into like a whole investigation. Around 22:00, one of the 2 individuals who were on the night watch duty was...
Yup, Miss Faust was one of them. Oh, hey, Dante. Didn't you have a brief conversation with Faust that morning?
Now that I think back on it, I did have a talk with Faust that day briefly. Faust made a few criticisms on my command style, and she was right. But I pretended not to hear her because I didn't have anything to retort with. Don't tell me Faust actually held a grudge against me for that.
So, fellas, I don't think anyone's noticed this, but I noticed a dusting of cigarette ash near the shattered alarm clock. As you know, Manager Butt, there's only 2 among us who smoke. One of them stayed put in his own room, know what I mean? There's a witness, too. Unless that witness is a cowardly liar, but I'm sure she'll come forward and tell everyone exactly what happened that night.
I shall prove unto thee that I am no cowardly weaver of lies. In truth, among numerous cosplays I'd wished to accomplish was the duo of Captain's Corpse and the One-Eyed Navigator. To explain the lore of Captain's Corpse, the tale begins verily in the year 757. A very long read. Alas, the very possibility of procuring a scorpion arm proved more dubious than one could have expected. Thus did I convince young Gregor to join forces with me, to cosplay together and capture glorious forms in photographs, though it was a pity he had no pipe, only a cigarette between his teeth. And young Ishmael's compass was to be the captain's trinket, and for that purpose I had briefly borrowed it from her room. Oh, woe is me, for I regrettably spilled an entire can of tuna, another prop, and the compass was swallowed by its greasy juices. Despite my best efforts to restore it, the tunny aroma lingered still. I beg thy forgiveness, Manager Esquire. Sob. Well, at least now we know who took Ishmael's compass. Frustrating. TC, GWNN, and MTL. Is this like a code? Sinclair, translation, please.
Yeah, trying to parse that from written text is usually way harder. I normally try to read the speaker's tone and the general context of her words, so...
Unfortunately, the plot thickens. Guys, are we actually going to try to find the culprit? Nausea bubbled inside me like I'd just been reminded of a persistent itch I'd managed to forget.
Like someone shoved a tuning fork in my head.
Guys?
Alright, that's it. Clockhead, read up. I'm going to confront the sod and tell him to tell it like it is if there's some bugging him instead of winging in this sleep. Now where is he?
Hey, nice. I mean, it looks like this anonymous person's trying to get to the bottom of this. Fare you well. It is I, the sinner first in the order. Apologies are in order. Ever since the incident, I could hardly lull myself to a restful sleep. In truth, it was none other than myself who pummeled your head with a clock. To explain this, one must explore the sentence cuts off as this part of the paper has been torn off. Worry not about what exists no longer. I will not embark on a multiloquent ascribing of excuses. I write before you in shame and express my willingness to accept any punishment you see fit to dole out. I seek nothing but your forgiveness. I can't believe the culprit was that sinner.
Good thing you fessed up, but doesn't something feel off about the whole thing? What if he's just trying to take the heat?
But it seems to me the number one sinner doesn't want to share the story any further.
Maybe it's best we not dig into it unnecessarily.
Oh, hello, Dante. I was just taking a walk near here when I found a piece of paper somebody tore off, so I'm returning it here. Hope it finds its way to the original writer.
Thus returns the number one sinner's paper. This has to be the key to resolving this case. I hurriedly unfurled the paper. The truth of what has transpired. You ever find yourself wondering if that crackling fire-like thing on top of the manager's head is hot like real fire, or if it would not give any heat? Curious, right? Oh, don't worry about it, Yi-san. It's not like we have any other way to tell other than touching it ourselves. Indeed, unproven phenomena cannot be confirmed without direct means of observation. Oh, they're asleep. Must have been really tired. Indeed, the ticking noise has shrunk in volume. It seems that we have just shared a thought. What if we were just quickly check while the manager's asleep? Perhaps the sound of phlegm sinking past my gullet makes far too much noise for this task. Yeah, well, I'm just finding out how loud my heartbeat can get. He sung. The alarm next to the manager. It's about to go off. You have a minute, at most. I shall interface with a timepiece. Look at you rats, playing a played-out prank. And that is indeed the full tale of what has transpired. Under the lens of hindsight's illumination, it would almost appear that I'm making a secret accusation to a fellow of mine. It would be easier in my heart to simply assume the entire weight of culpability myself. And that's where it ends.
The culprit was right under our noses the entire time.
Sorry, Dante. I should have been upfront about it, but Otis was so adamant about Arlie punishing the culprit that I couldn't bring myself to,
Can't deny that.
tell you the truth in time. To tell you another truth, I think I might have an idea as to why I've been made a student alongside Miss Shichun. There must have been something that the company was expecting from me, but it's just not showing up, so they must be making me taking these classes to compensate for it. Everyone else is boldly facing their own issues and slowly overcoming them, while I'm still here, feeling like I'm stagnating in place. They've been telling me that my time's yet to come, but I don't know, I just get the feeling that the ship might have sailed for me already.
It was clear to me that Sinclair wasn't just talking about physical training or his combat prowess. It's about something more than half the sinners had faced and were facing at this point, about his past and the path that lies ahead, the guilt and the pressure of having failed to confront it. It was never going to be easy for him to let go. I don't think anyone's got the perfect idea of how the whole trajectory of their lives is going to be. That's why we're all on the bus, isn't it?
You can just shout at me to get my act together like Heathcliff does.
Oh, I will, if I have to.
Whatever that was, you guys managed to talk it out, huh? All I heard was that ticking noise.
Oh, sorry about that. What Dante said was...
Hey, don't bother. I just needed a quick glance at that look on your face to feel that tick-tock with my heart.
Thus, the curious case of the alarm clock came to an end. So what do you guys think Ryosha was trying to say?
Two culprits. Guy with nightly nightmares and my translator.
I see. Sinclair and I sat there for a moment, absorbing the awkward silence. So what was the lesson? What the fuck? Passive improved. God of Gamblers passive. Okay, well, I think we should do him, and then another Drunken Master, so that I can bring these stats up. Didn't level everything to 900, but I leveled one thing to 900. Breep. Finally, the 30 days of lessons were completed, and the day of the final exam was upon us. Everyone came out to bid good luck to Jashichon on her way to the final exam. My lady, I have nothing but absolute faith that you will be able to complete this final exam just as excellently as you have all the others. It is most likely you will be facing off against a skilled foe from the Jue or Shi family. Of course, you will doubtless wipe the floor with them.
I have taught you all I know. I hereby give you the permission to leave this boot camp.
You got this, Shichin.
Guys, you really didn't have to all come out here to see me off.
Still, I have undying faith you will emerge victorious. However, Zigong and I have prepared about 21 alternative solutions in case things go awry, so please don't worry yourself too much.
Do you have faith in me or not?
Upon our return to the classroom, we were greeted by an unexpected guest.
Must be very nice to be Shichen, to have so many teachers from all walks of life helping her out.
It had been a while since we last saw Shui Bao Chai, which was during the regular assembly.
What are you doing here, Big Sis Bao Chai? I couldn't stop myself from paying you all a visit out of pity. If only Shichun and Bao you both smiled on like nothing happened. Our blossoming years would have been peaceful still.
Big Sis, please stop talking to me like that.
I didn't know you could even say such a thing. Bao Yu, it has always been this way. If a fruit has fully ripened, we have to seize it and taste its juices before anyone else. We can't just let go. We can't stand emptiness. My brother couldn't, my parents couldn't. But you, who was born and raised on the very same soil we were, how do you walk so softly, so lightly?
I don't. My footsteps are no longer light. Every step, every sight I hold in my eyes as the days go by fills me with abundance. I'm only trying to accept everything as it is, without asking for more or less.
But how could one do nothing but watch when we're surrounded by such fragrance?
What more do you seek, Big Sis?
I want to be closer, that my hands may reach you. Have you already forgotten who had sent you that guest lecture?
Yuchen's palanquin isn't headed to the exam site, is it?
No, it's not.
It's heading to Big Sis Yuan Chen's exam site.
Blasted scoundrels. I must hasten after the palanquin before I lose track of them.
Wei sprinted outside even before Shui Bao Chai finished. A trap, huh?
Well, shouldn't we also get going?
Calm yourselves for a moment.
Zigong swiftly came between us, clearly having taken a gauge of the situation.
It has been too long since the palanquin has departed. It is better to move based on concrete evidence, not urgency. Though a beast seems to have chosen the latter.
I think I heard the faint sound of hooves coming from the direction Zigong was glancing in. So this is what you've chosen?
Yes. The exams she's taken thus far were all meaningless lies. I could have shared this earlier, but I decided to follow my own heart, as you have decided to follow yours.
Bao Chai smiled sweetly.
So now, what fragrance do you smell from me?
I smell nothing. Shui Bao Chai left the room wordlessly upon hearing that reply. Class complete. Well, that took a lot of time. Oh. New growth. I mean, I've mastered everybody. Surely she's gonna be fine. Look at all those passives we stacked up. She'll be fine, I believe. but I am tired. We're going to continue this wonderful adventure on Friday. Friday, we're gonna watch the cool conclusion to this. And we're gonna have even more reading. So thank you guys for coming to the stream today. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I will see you all Friday. Bye bye.